everybody. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast, now celebrating 4 weeks of Gus's vacation. Where the fuck is he?
Who's to say?
Is he in Japan? He
Yeah.
posted that publicly,
I think
right?
he
He's
is.
in Japan?
Yeah.
I think he's in Singapore today.
What?
You tell me, first of all, thank you for joining us.
I'm technically Gus's manager. I have no idea where he is.
Our CEO is here, so I have to do the business stuff. Brought to you today by RTX 2019. I'm Bernie.
Does it go this way?
I'm not Gus Cirillo.
I'm Ellie.
I am Gavin.
The problem is that we keep doing the intros, even though this is episode number 580, right, Eric? 538. 580. That's what I said. Okay, 538. We still intro ourselves. We still get it wrong every time.
Well, you started that in that time. That's why it's
Well, it's
confusing.
different people every time,
Yeah.
so no one's ever sure who they are.
And here's the thing. If he starts, it's definitely not me next.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
definitely.
I was just like,
It's just zero.
So, what do you think it
What's
loops
the-
back around like
It
You
either
could go
goes around.
alphabetical.
going the other way?
it still wouldn't be me next.
I guess.
No, it wouldn't.
No.
Because
Could
of
go, that, no,
I
wouldn't be
feel
age. There's no way to get it.
responsible for messing that up. I'm so sorry.
Or
None of us
both.
know the
Yeah.
alphabet.
So we were talking
Did it
about
work?
right before we went live. I was talking with Ellie. Today is our 16th anniversary. Is that the way to say that? Birthday?
Sure.
Can you have birthdays for things
anniversary?
that aren't for people? What's the history of Sweet 16?
What? You're jumping right into that, huh?
I am. It's like I'm
It's a little
afraid to ask it
creepy.
because are we to get like some kind of weird like Victorian
Well, I was
marriage
just we, were
laws?
we did a little promotional thing before the show started, and we were singing different songs.
Yeah.
And
That's
one
for
of the songs
social.
we talked about was, should we sing "Sweet Little 16" by Chuck Berry?
Even when you say it, doesn't sound right.
It doesn't
Right,
sound
does
right,
it?
right?
Right?
It's a little weird in this day and age.
It sounds like
Should
that
we-
song should be called "Can I Get Away with It?"
Exactly.
Are you legal yet?
Right.
It's called problematic overtime.
Is that what it
Yeah.
is then? Is it like an
That's what
age
you,
of consent
you posted
thing?
today, right? Your
Oh, yeah.
tweet, Gav.
Yeah, I said, congratulations, Rooster Teeth now old enough to get railed in England. I think people thought I meant drinking, but I did mean
No.
sexual intercourse.
Yep.
Just to clarify.
Yep.
So listen, this is a little dating hack. I think I've talked
Chuck
about one
Berry's
side of
from
this.
England.
If you're dating a guy or dating a lady, I think there's two things you should always bring up on the first date. One is if you're dating a guy, casually bring up the age of consent and get it wrong and
boy.
see if then he corrects you and gets it right. There's a certain kind of guy who like has a catalog of all the states in the US and their different ages of consent. It's a certain kind of guy that has that. And I don't know.
Sounds like
You're
a certain
going
kind of
in-
guy that should be in jail.
Well, right, exactly. It's like you want to know this on the first date if this person has like an encyclopedic knowledge
You're going
of age
into
of
this
consent.
first date really suspicious.
Always.
Why did you agree to this first date if that's the kind of person you thought you were dating?
I mean, half the people you're just trying to make sure they're not going to kill you, right?
Right.
Isn't that
I guess
that's
that's
so another one you could be like,
That's a
I
good
really
question
like
to
your
start
gun in your pocket.
Well, you know what the female version of that is?
What?
At some point in the conversation, she says something funny, whatever, or tells you a story. You just say the words, that's nuts. You're crazy. Just say that. Just not that joke is crazy. Specifically the words, you're crazy. Totally in context, totally offhand. If it goes by, it's no problem. If she goes, don't call me crazy, get the fuck out right away. Because people in her life are calling her crazy all the fucking time. And she has a reaction to it when she
Well,
hears
when
it.
you're 16, yeah, kind of crazy.
I mean,
I assume that's how it.
would you hire someone knowing that they had taken someone across state lines to have some nice legal sex?
How would we find that out?
Wow.
Welcome to the podcast, Matt.
Legal sex.
Look, we're all 16 here.
This one's
Listen,
this
I
is
would
a
say
live one like all the other ones.
If
Is
that came up in the interview, that would be a red flag. Like, let's talk a little bit about stuff that's not on your resume. Well, I just got back from Brazil or something. I don't know where you would go for that. Gavin, let me ask you this. We're on a first date. What is the state that has the youngest age of consent in the
No
US?
idea.
I bet
Oh,
our fucking chat knows. I bet they'll know.
Okay. But you know it because you're going to verify it, so you know it.
No, I'm just assuming they know. I'm going to guess like Louisiana because you could drink there.
I'd guess like Alaska or something.
It might
Somewhere
be.
that they really need to probably reproduce.
boy.
So we have a weird thing now. If we're looking
Legal
off screen this way a lot today, it's because for the first time we have chat up.
Where in America can you have nice legal sex the earliest?
So what is that? Is that Sweet 16? Is that where that comes from?
I
Is
hope
it like
not.
it? Do we want to look this up?
Personally,
Well, as stuff ripens, it becomes sweet, right?
Oh boy.
I wish you'd stop. You know,
boy.
just immediately.
I picked a great podcast to come on.
Ripens.
Let's see where
Hadn't
Sweet
been here in like a
16 comes
year,
from.
Gav. Thanks so much.
Tennessee,
Right.
someone's at Kentucky, Mississippi. We're just naming states now.
I'm so scared. Looking
See
this
you
up.
next anniversary.
Alabama.
Although looking up
It's
Sweet
coming up a lot.
Havana,
Alabama.
Alabama's probably.
I feel like it was.
I like that there's some people who are just taking this opportunity to demean other states. I saw one guy who was like Georgia, probably.
Yeah, look, they know. They know. Of course, they have.
Like they're all
ooh.
terrible there.
I saw some really young.
so
ages
it
go
sounds
by.
as though. Ooh, ugh.
Well,
Oh, we put a map.
oh my god.
Oh, look, it's Eric's lock screen that we have up now.
Wait,
For
is
his
there
phone.
is that a thing that says puberty?
Wait, what? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Pink. What is that?
Oh, so as long as you've hit puberty.
That's not in the United
That
States.
looks like the
Oh.
Pacific. No, where is that? It's
That's
somewhere
like
south of
Belize?
Mexico.
There's a lot of places that are a little too green for my liking.
So we're looking here at a map for audio listeners. We're looking at a map of, and I never realized how much one of the lakes in Canada looks like a flying goose. That's
Well-
so appropriate. I never realized that till just now. But we're looking at a map of the U.S. and Canada showing ages of consent. Canada is like solid 15 years old.
With the color coding, it looks like the lakes are 12.
There's two greens
Like
that are
if you're
very
on
similar.
a lake, you
can have sex in a lake.
Get off those lake
Get off the
kitties.
land and go in the
Get off
lake.
the
and you're
lakes.
fine.
What is the age of consent on the International Space Station?
Pull up that map again. I'm worried about something
Yikes.
here. I'm squinting to see it, but it looks like the color for 13 and 17 are very close to each other.
Yeah,
And those should be really, really, really different.
I'm gonna trust that 17 is the way. That,
Darker green one?
Yeah.
Your Honor, I'm not a pedophile. I'm just colorblind.
Wait.
I'm red-green colorblind. Sorry about that.
Does that say 16 for Texas?
Is
Hey,
it?
what's another great topic to discuss, Bernie?
So we have the chat up here today, Matt,
Yeah.
because today is a 24-hour period in which every single person can enjoy first content, including watching this podcast live.
Yes.
So now you can contribute to, although the stuff that people are contributing is really gross and weird. Someone wants to know how long my hair is. My hair is now exactly this long.
Yep.
Go down a little bit. I had to pull it out because it goes curly and wavy, and it just goes in on itself after a while. After a while,
Well, like
hopefully.
it starts to like implode.
Yeah, when I was in like salt water for a week, and my hair was just straight out. You have kind of the same hair, right? You have naturally curly hair,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I didn't do this to myself.
No?
No. Everyone always thinks that I got a perm.
I'm always on
and
the
like,
perms.
No, actually, it is 2019. I didn't get a perm.
Was your hair always curly, even as a kid?
No, it was sort of like overnight when I was 11.
Yep.
Did you have a terrible
Puberty was more
experience?
kind. Well, yeah. I had a traumatic experience the next day. This happened to me. No.
I was the same way. I had straight hair my entire life until I went to college. And then I got curly hair in college. And I don't know what the
Make
hell
it sound
happened.
like you caught a disease.
I got curly hair.
That's how I got curly hair.
Got the curls.
Yeah.
Didn't know her name.
I used to hate it for a really long time, but now I like it.
I think it looks nice.
I'm having trouble.
Gavin?
There you go.
Sweet.
Sweet 16 is a coming of age party celebrating a teenager's 16th birthday, mainly celebrated in the United States and Canada. I'm really nervous about reading this. Similar celebrations are found in different cultures around the world, such as the quinceañera in Hispanic countries and Festa de Debutantes in Brazil.
I thought it might be this. This is where like they introduce you to society?
Like the debutantes in
Yeah.
Southern society in the U.S., where they just have like, it's basically like a beauty pageant, kind of.
It's
Is that-
more like you reach a certain age where like you're allowed to go to the country club or some
kinda-
crap, and it's like
I mean, it kind of goes back to just like, please take my daughter away now.
kind of
And-
or she's
done with this.
available for
Yeah.
a union.
available for
Right.
purchase.
Yeah, basically.
Someone
Or
else's
to
expense
wed two
now
houses
from old
together.
days.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
feel like
exactly.
the parents want that to be the last thing they spend on that person. So
Right,
it's like
big
a
party
send
then,
off.
like-
No, you got to pay
Yeah.
for the wedding.
Oh, I guess you do.
And there's
At
a
least
dowry.
traditionally in the US.
What happened to the dowry?
Whatever happened to the dowry?
I mean, come on.
So, how did the dowry work? The dowry was like a payment that came along with the lady.
Yeah, it was like, do you want this lady? You'll get a bag of gold.
Yeah.
Did it depend, like, if she was not as attractive? Would it be, like, more
It was
payment?
just about how much money the family had.
That was it.
Yeah, or like, you know, if maybe it was a cow and not money. It was just like a gift you also got
magic
when you
beans.
married the daughter.
I will give you my daughter and 4 goats.
And a goat. You're welcome. She will come to you on a llama, and the llama's also yours.
I've been reading this book called Sapiens. I think I talked about it recently. It's about the rise of early man and all the different species of essentially humans that existed, like Neanderthals. I believe some people pronounce it.
Someone's having a stroke in the chat.
Yeah, the chat's going nuts. What happens? It's a fascinating book. It's all theoretical, of course, because we don't know that much. Anything we have that's evidence, the only things that survived were bones and stone, basically. So anything they had in their daily life, like leather or wood, those things are just gone, or mud. We don't have those anymore.
Sounds like a really weird game of Catan.
It does, right? Yeah.
Does Neanderthal DNA show up on Ancestry?
It does.
DNA, 23andMe?
It does.
On those?
Yeah. I think,
You seem worried.
yeah, what do you
No, I'm just curious. What do you think?
You have a lowbrow skeleton in your closet?
Secretly a Neanderthal? I might be.
I think
Maybe not
I think they thought that Neanderthals were pretty much just wiped out, and then they've discovered now
There was
like some
Sweet 16 happened for the
intermarrying
Neanderthals as well.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something cool that the guy Dave who taught me like some survival skills told to me when
For
I was
skill
like,
tree.
yeah, when I was real struggling to make a fire one time. He was like, hey, if you think about it, you are like the descendant of the people that were best at survival.
Yes.
And so like you have this inside of you, inside your very DNA, you know how to do this. And I was like, that's not true, but very kind. Like I don't know how to do this because like my great grandfather could make a fire. But
Yeah, I feel like I wasn't
I
born
think
with
that's
it.
kind of a cool fact to think
It's
about.
like a kitten immediately knows how to shit and bury it. But I had nothing.
You didn't
I've never
have
done
that one down.
Trial and error for Gavin on the burying shit procedure.
Hi.
Do you
Thanks
think
for coming
like
to
way
parents'
old
evening.
times the dowry could have been just fire?
Maybe.
Like they had fire and they're like, I've never seen that before. I will definitely
Really
take
cool.
It's just a pilot light.
your daughter, but then the fire burns out. And I'm like, that's cheating. What happened? Because you don't know, you've never seen fire before.
Oh, that's true. Like, thank you for this eternal gift of light.
Ex-
Oh, what?
exact- and then it's gone, and you're like, what?
Trick.
Well, there had to be a point in time before we learned how to make fire that gathering fire was a whole art. Like they'd wait for a lightning strike, I guess.
Don't just grab it.
Oh, yeah, and go get it. But then a rainstorm would come, and at least the first time they experience fire, they might not know that rain puts it out, and then they
Right.
lose their fire. That's got to be a really fucking shitty day. You had fire, and then you lost fire. What do you do at this point? You don't know about the stick thing.
You don't know what stick means.
Yeah,
You don't know about the stick thing.
you don't know how to do that. Did you have to do that for your survival? You had to do
I did.
2 sticks or the Tinder.
I made a bow.
That's
So
what it
like
was.
spin
Yeah.
the
Right.
stick.
Yeah, so you make a bow so that you just have to drive the bow back and forth, and that spins the stick for you much faster than you can do it.
Simple
yourself.
machine.
It's wicked.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And you did it. You made fire.
I did. I made fire. Yeah, and Dave was still not impressed.
He was
very
hard to impress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made this. I mean, fair enough, awful shelter, and he just made fun of me and then threw a bucket of creek water at me. It was a good day.
That was the original Neanderthal marriage, I believe. You throw a bucket of creek water at the
Bad
woman of your
tent.
choosing.
So after we got done with a sailing trip, Ellie grew up as a lifelong sailor. The first time I ever went sailing was in a vlog that we did with Drew
Oh.
Baldwin, who came on this trip with me.
Is that where you drop the thing in?
No, I wasn't even going to bring it up.
Yeah,
she
I
dropped
did.
the winch handle into the water. I think literally it was great timing. It was right after she said, "Yeah, I grew up on sailboats," so I don't. And then literally, boom, right
And you
over.
are going to need that back, is the thing.
Yeah.
But there was
You
a
just
spare
3D print another one. It's fine.
on the boat. I'll just fire it up down below.
There is some stuff if you lose it, like if you're in the middle of the ocean, you got a problem on your hands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you lose your last winch handle, and luckily there was a second one on board that day. We were in Lake Travis too, so it,
What would be the worst thing to lose?
Hands.
the hull. Probably.
Rotation?
Both arms.
Actually, I think
What
the
I
worst thing to
expected to
lose,
say.
probably the worst thing to lose, single thing, I would guess, is the rudder.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst thing to lose because you
can't steer
can't
it.
replace it with anything else.
Can't you just put your arm
My
down?
dad lost the keel to his boat one time.
Get the fuck out of here. How'd that happen?
Because it was a retractable keel, because it was made for going in and out of like
Does
shallow
it-
channels.
Does that mean the boat tips over?
It makes it way easier to tip over because it had a really long keel, but he unwound it and was just like kept unwinding it, and then just had this like
Thunk. And the boat like immediately goes like that.
Yeah.
For those of you who are not familiar with the anatomy of a sailboat, the keel
chunky bottom.
is basically this big, huge weight that
Yeah.
weighs as much as the rest of the boat, but it's underwater. So,
So
the
that
boat
when
will
it's
tip.
tipping like this, your parents will go, "Don't worry, we're not going to fall in," and you're like, "Okay."
Yeah, you're like dipping into the water while you're holding onto the
Because
lifeline.
there's this like giant keel, but not anymore.
Yeah, because when the wind comes, old school sailboats, they'd have to sail with the wind. But now they can sail. There it is right there, the keel at the bottom. That's
Yeah,
that big fin
that
at the
boy,
bottom.
that's gone now.
No rudder on there, though. If you lose your rudder, you got a problem.
Yeah.
But I was going to say is I was, just for the hell of it, I thought, I wonder what it would cost to like outfit a boat. Like I went to a boat place, like a website, and started hitting configuration. Don't do that, by the way, ever. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I found out some of these boats now are to the point where, like a normal size sailboat, you can get a desalinization plant on them to where they just make water.
Really?
But that's
cool.
I thought this was prohibitively expensive technology that was
Well, what's powering it?
I don't know,
Wind?
gas, the diesel engine, I
I
assume.
mean, surely you could just get a kinetic, like renewable energy thing. Because if you're going forward, it's going to be making.
You want a turbine?
Did I just make up science? I have no idea. Because forward equals power.
That reminds me.
So it's hydro powered, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's the wind that's doing it, so it's kind of wind powered.
Right.
Right, but using the boat as a
As
really
the
weird windmill.
conduit.
Yeah, pushing it
Consider.
through the turbine spinning.
Yes.
I don't know what powers. I'm assuming it's a diesel engine that powers it. But this thing, some of these like
I love it. It's like it's all this like renewable energy stuff. That sounds great. No, it's diesel.
Yeah, it's just good old fashioned.
We're burning whale blubber as fast as possible.
it's a dude shoveling coal. That's it. That's all it is.
More
And he's not even
coal.
shoveling to fire, just straight into the ocean. He just shovels coal in. Read a horrible story about a pregnant whale that they found that had something like 22 kilograms of plastic in its stomach. Just like
Ugh.
that's like the legacy now is like plastic and everything.
I really feel like once we head back into like things you can recycle like glass, we'll look back at these days and be like, whoa, that
Yeah.
was a real mistake when someone was like, I've made this thing. They should have been like, kill it.
Stop.
Don't tell anyone about it.
That's a terrible idea.
Terrible idea.
But this book I was reading, Sapiens, is like I feel like suddenly modern humans have had this incredible impact on the environment with carbon emissions and everything like that. It's kind of like what we've done the entire time. Basically, the world is separated, and this is all once again theoretical. It's separated into areas that humans reached and areas that humans didn't reach. And the areas that humans reached, it was like everything that was larger than a human went completely extinct within about 1,000 years of them showing up. Like they can trace humans showing up in a place and finding relics at a certain time. Like if they showed up in 14,000 BC, by 13,000 BC, the giant sloths all gone. Everything bigger than them. Woolly mammoths gone. Like the moment humans showed up, they just started killing everything in sight.
And mixed sloths burgers opened up at the same time. So there's some kind of connection. Maybe can't pinpoint exactly, but it seems like it's more than a coincidence.
So you're saying we're just really lucky to have elephants and stuff?
We're lucky that we haven't run through all the animals yet. It's like this isn't a
Yeah.
new thing. We've been
We're lucky
on
elephants taste bad.
we've been on a very steady path for a long time now.
and pretty much will leave us alone if we don't try and kill them. So we're just like,
Yeah.
let these guys go. Did you guys see the New York Times article about glitter?
No.
Is it really bad?
I mean, it's the article itself is amazing. So this glitter is a very secret industry.
New York Times is so prestigious, though. Can you imagine studying journalism and graduating?
Yeah.
You
Just
show up
to-
at the New York Times and go, hey, we need you to just do a story on glitter.
But it's amazing. So every piece of
You were
glitter
talking
that's
about the
ever,
Mariah Carey movie, right?
Yeah.
No,
No?
a little
Oh.
different. Every
my
piece
bad.
of glitter that's ever been made still exists and will exist for thousands of years because it doesn't biodegrade. Most of it just sits on the ocean floor. That's the sad bit.
That's very
The
sad
very
bit.
intriguing bit is that the biggest purchaser of glitter is a giant secret, and they do not want you to know that it's glitter.
It's Mariah Carey.
Wait a minute. What?
Wait,
The biggest, like the
Biggest purchaser is
yeah, the
a
biggest
secret?
like manufacturer purchaser of glitter, the company or the product that buys the
you-
most glitter.
there's a
It's a giant secret, and they don't want you to know. And
There's
I
a
think it's
sur-
toothpaste.
It's a surprise party that's coming. That's going to be the biggest surprise party of all time. And no, the information can't get
know.
out.
You can't know that it's glitter.
they're just been buying it up.
Whoever's birthday that is, there's going to be so much glitter.
But they describe the inside of
will
a glitter
die.
factory, and it looks like something out of the Wizard of Oz because everything is covered in glitter.
I would imagine so.
It's really interesting. If you haven't read it, it's amazing. But I think that the biggest purchaser of glitter is toothpaste.
What?
Because they don't want you to know it's glitter. It's unlike you spit it out, so you're technically not ingesting it.
Technically, yeah.
That's my theory. I've
What
been
are
thinking
you-
about this a lot.
What are you on about?
What do you mean?
How much get from glitter to toothpaste?
Because
They're flex.
yeah, they have. What are those little shiny flecks if not tiny pieces of glitter?
I think they would have to disclose that,
mint.
though.
Why?
Like it would be fluoride.
Yeah, but you just call
Paste,
it
what
some
is that?
kind of
Some kind of
chemical
glue?
name, and you don't know. See, if you haven't, it's
So all of the glitter will end up at the bottom of the ocean.
yeah.
Well, I mean, so we don't need the coral reefs. We've got a fabulous ocean floor
No,
coming
it's
out.
bad. It's
It's very
bad.
bad. It's very, very bad because it's so small. But yeah, it's a very interesting. I'm sorry, I just blew my mind. I read about this the other day.
Is it
Nah.
cut from big glitter, like sheets? How do you make it?
They don't know.
harvest it.
It's a secret.
Wait, nobody knows how they make glitter?
No, it's like It blows my. It's like all about
like
like
a
half
KFC
lengths of
recipe?
light. Like it goes
What?
into how glitter is made, and it's like the half length of a ray of light. It's super cool, and I am having a really bad job of explaining it right now. But you should read it. I'll send it to you.
Probably not for the size of the glitter, but it's
it's how
probably
it
the
works.
layers, the two distance. If
it's-
they get it half a wavelength of light, that's what makes the different colors, like on the reflection.
Right.
That's why oil, when you put it on a puddle, makes that little rainbow. That's because it's just the distance of reflection with the layer of oil versus the surface of the water is enough to where you can see.
That looks really cool as well. Maybe we should put oil all over the ocean.
That'd be great.
On top.
That'd be
and then
great.
we'll have glitter under it, oil on top. It'll be perfect.
And then we could spray it with whatever that chemical is that they say gets rid of the oil that just like then settles to the ocean floor. This is such a depressing podcast.
That's like dry shampoo.
You wanted to talk about the feats of humankind,
yeah, in
dry
regards to
shampoo?
age of
Could
consent.
you-
and that's not depressing at
We
all.
went from age of consent to its extinction events to glitter. I really don't know where to go from
It's a
here.
party.
Seriously, glitter's amazing. You should read about it.
All right, since we're on depressing facts, we're bringing my depressing fact.
okay. Oh, I didn't prepare one. Sorry.
So it's travel related, so it's very appropriate for our billionth podcast. Hey, why do we take the episode numbers out of the podcast, Eric? You explain yourself. Eric's answer was there's like 500 of them.
Yeah, it's because if you're a new
Did we run out of
person-
numbers? Is that what you're claiming?
Counting
It's
is
because
hard?
if you're a new person, it's like it's a lot.
When you see 538, you're less apt to jump in.
Well, put it in the tags or something so we can find it.
I just remember this is 538.
Is it?
It's in the description?
Okay.
All right, well, there you go. Somebody said world's largest glitter bomb. That's what it's being prepared for. That would be a glitter bomb of epic proportions.
Tune into Arty Life next week.
It could be like a De Beers thing, like where they're just buying up all the glitter to inflate the price of it, and they've got it in vaults.
I think it's toothpaste.
You're really, stuck,
what are you talking
you're really
about?
stuck on the toothpaste thing.
I think it must be the like whoever buys the most glitter is a big secret because like they interview this lady and she's like, I cannot tell you.
But at some
Like-
point, there would have been like, you're talking to somebody and like, what's in your teeth?
Yeah,
You
'cause
know,
it's so
like,
small.
oh, that's just glitter.
That's glitter. It's not like
Right.
giant like sequins.
Yeah. You're not, you haven't turned into like you have a grill or
I want you to
whatever
bring
it's
your
called.
toothpaste in the office. Because I mean, at most, I know what you're talking about, the little sparkles
How
that are
many-
Wait a
there.
minute, are you using glitter brand toothpaste? Because that's your problem.
That's it, Glitter X toothpaste.
Yeah.
That's what it is. No, I mean, you know, what else could it be?
Do you remember that anniversary podcast we did from the racetrack?
Yeah.
In Atlanta, that
Was it
one?
Michael lying on the
Yeah.
floor the entire time?
When he had too much milk and,
Yeah.
and too much speed?
And you just had to lie down for half a day.
Yeah.
Like that to me was like, oh, that was what, like 6 years ago?
Might be
Maybe
more than that,
seven?
dude.
Seven? Was it the
maybe more?
10th? Was it the 9th anniversary? It was a big anniversary.
Oh, it was our 10th anniversry.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it
that
was 6 years
nine
ago.
9 years ago. No, sorry, I'm going back to 2010. My math is bad. Sorry, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Immediately said, well, 2019, 10, yeah, it's 9 years ago.
I just feel like that was so far into the company's history. Looking back on that, I was like, man, this company's done a lot.
Yeah, welcome
that
to
was
my
somehow
life.
6 years ago.
It's crazy. I mean, it's really nuts. Like, you know, this is a big one for me, the 16th one, because we had tried a bunch of different stuff, but really the year that things started to take off was when we were in Congress, and there was like Achievement Hunter, Archie Shorts started. Even later in that year, we started Immersion, and that was like year 8. So that was like halfway through from here. I mean, we had Achievement Hunter started.
Or 7. No, it was earlier than that, right? Wasn't it year 7?
It would have been when he came in for
2008.
recreation.
season 7.
Season 7. So yeah. So it was like right there. So getting to year now, end of year 8.
Yeah.
You know, or end of year 16th. Like we're half the distance from that period of time, which is
Yeah.
just like it's so crazy. That's like what was basically one show for
Yeah.
a long time.
And Gavin's still here for some
and
reason.
Gavin's still fucking hanging around.
I can't believe it.
Well, now you got a green card. You're officially hanging around.
I got a green card.
Are you jealous?
Yes, that's a process, and I know
Thanks.
about that.
I feel
Jealous
like
of his
that,
green card? Do you want to? Do you have
I
like
have one.
I know, but do you want like other
Do I want
English people to
his?
go away? Like,
Yeah, go away.
do you have competition now?
No, not very. Not
it took
really.
took so long. It took
Yeah.
a really long time.
It takes so long.
Because I looked in the emails, the email for the lawyer that was like, hey, let's get a green card was 2013.
Is that the same lawyer that I found like way back in the day? Or is it a different set of lawyers?
Same company. I think different people at the same
Good
company.
gosh. Yeah, some of the people have probably like died,
Like retired or died.
moved on.
But I think, there's a lot you can accomplish in life, but I think getting a green card in the middle of the Trump administration
Wow.
is quite an
That
accomplishment.
is true.
And I
It's
didn't
like
do
hard
any of the
mode.
work.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I read something this weekend that you and Dan finished Halo
I don't want to talk about it.
on Lasso, which is legendary all skulls on, which is the hardest way you can play Halo.
And let me describe some of those skulls.
Blind skull.
Blind skull, you can't see your gun. You can't see how much ammo you have. All
Can't
the
see
ammo-
your reticle.
And every enemy is cloaked, including enemies that can't be cloaked, like Sentinels and Flood. You can't see anyone. It took us like 30 hours to get through the whole game that way.
Did you do it in one straight go or
No. We did it over like 6 weeks probably.
Oh my god! And
We'd shoot in the day and then play that in the evenings, like as a rest.
it was supposed to unlock some kind of achievement for you.
Yep.
And
But-
what happened?
We did it on co-op, and when you start Halo 2 in single player, you get a cutscene, and then you get the sort of tutorial level where it's like, look up, look down,
Right.
look left, right, stand the shield thing. Skips that on co-op, but you need to have done it to get the achievement.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
14 out of 15 complete. The way around it now is for me to do that tutorial on solo Lasso,
Yeah. And then you're done.
and then beat the last level again in co-op. But you can't pick the level. You can only pick the playlist. And the playlist for me, because I've beaten it, starts at the beginning.
Oh no.
So I have to just do all of it again.
Can I ask you a question? Didn't you see that coming?
No.
Because you have
Now,
this,
let me
you
ask you a
clearly have a
question.
readout right there that they showed us on screen, 14 out of 15. You knew you were like 12 out of 15 when you had 2 levels left.
Well, I would.
No, you didn't see it
It's
coming.
just not as easy as that. And I'm not as smart as that.
That's fucking terrible, dude.
It was. Cairo Station alone, the first level of Halo 2, took us like 8 hours.
Are you gonna do it?
No.
Really?
I can't. I can't go through that again.
I feel like getting another green card.
We got so.
What was harder? What was harder, getting the green card
Halo 2
or
Lasso.
getting the lasso?
Oh my god.
So was it lasso for Halo 2 specifically, or the entire Master Chief Collection?
Just Halo 2.
Just Halo.
I've got
2.
the achievements for the other games.
So it's just one game. Just come back.
But there's an achievement for doing
Bless you.
all of them.
Excuse you.
I got Pirate Legend this weekend.
Oh, congrats.
A year it took me to get that on Sea of Thieves.
You haven't done Halo 2 Lasso, so why don't you just do it on my account?
Nah.
No?
No. I remember when we made Grifball, which was year 8, I think. That was after
2007?
Was it? I thought it was after season. Was it? I thought it was after season 5.
No, it was after
Wasn't it-
season 7 because he was
No, it was the
Between
year
season
my
5 and season 6.
it was the year my nut exploded, which I think was 2007.
Is that okay?
Wait,
No, that'd have been 4 years in. That's impossible. We would have been in we still would have been
We
in
were
Buda.
we started
8?
at Congress.
It had to be Halo 3.
Might have been 2008. Well, Halo 3 came out in 2007.
Well, yeah, but then it was a year and a half later when the DLC was coming out.
Yeah, it might have been 8.
Might have been 8 or
When
9.
did my bollock
How
Anyway.
do you not remember that?
I wouldn't want to remember that.
We had to for Halo 3, we had to unlock all the armor, and we didn't have like developer
Oh,
editions.
right.
I think. So I remember,
forgot about
I remember
that.
we farmed that out to the community and said, "Hey, we just need like the Mark V helmet."
Mark
And
5 took a really long time.
It
That's
did.
Cabooses' helmet.
That was one of the hardest ones to unlock, and so we had we registered I think 16 Xbox Live usernames, gamer tags, farmed them out to the community, and then I forgot we paid them like some amount of money and then some merch as well if they would just level
Paid
them
them
up
to play Halo.
and put them in the credits as well. Yeah.
I'm surprised you bothered with it, because you could have just written Caboose out, and then you wouldn't have had to unlock that helmet.
Or I could have not just used the helmet and just give him a regular helmet. I just thought it was funny to have him have the old helmet. But it became such an iconic look for him in such a
did.
weird way,
Yeah.
that he was the standout one. Oh, man.
Do you have 2 balls?
I do, Ellie. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
One of them is, well, it's been through a lot.
One of them
it's a
has a wire mesh around it.
Just when you said exploded, I sort of feared the worst.
It almost exploded.
Okay.
About the size of an orange, probably.
Wow. Did you just sit in yourself?
Did I what?
Did you just sit in yourself, funny?
No, it just happened in the night. And I was
Beans.
dressed as Santa at the time.
Oh my god.
I couldn't get back into my jeans, so I just wore the loose Santa pants to the hospital.
I'm sorry, this story is just 100% new to me, and I'm
I'll
really
tell you about it one day.
okay.
I've already told it to the podcast.
It's a Christmas tradition, apparently.
Once upon a time.
I got hit in the balls so hard at work the other day. We
2009.
Was it 2009? Yeah, you were right.
Oh, wow.
Early 2009, but 2009.
I think they talked about it on Off Topic, but we painted a moon ball black and then turned all the lights off and filmed us throwing this ball around with night vision cameras. And I got railed in the penis.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. I went down for like 2 minutes.
Why does it matter if it's painted black? If it's dark,
I mean, that was
if you have all the lights out, who cares? Did you realize that as soon as you turned off the lights? Why did we waste time painting it
we
black?
immediately lost the black one and just had to.
Who was on the camera?
Oh, they were just on tripods.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So everyone was a potential victim.
Yeah,
Did you get any of the cameras?
probably. I mean, there's no way of knowing, really.
What about turn the lights back on?
Yeah.
I saw a video. How recent was the one where you went over Jack's desk?
Well, we celebrated Michael's 1 billionth second of being alive today, which was today.
What time? Do you know the
2:38.
Really?
apparently.
2:38?
Something like that. And he wanted some sort of celebration, so I sprayed spray cheese into his mouth. And then
Sure.
halfway through spraying it in, it was looking a bit dark and brown, and then we realized that it expired in 2017.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So he tried to wipe it on me, and I was yelling, I have the podcast today, like don't wipe it all over me because I don't want to go home and change. And then he chased me around the room, and then I was in sort of Jack's corner.
Cornered like a box canyon.
Backed into a corner, and he
Yeah.
said, you have nowhere to go. And in my head, I thought, oh yeah? So I just took a dive right over, took out a lot of stuff.
Over. I would say through.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't have really strong legs to propel me.
Straight over him.
But it's surprisingly, nothing broke, which is always nice.
This.
Except for a mug.
I burned myself. Not just now. I burned myself last night helping fucking Teddy make some beef Wellington. Yeah, right? It's like,
That's like
I know, right? That's
the
like the
poshest
last
accident I've ever had.
thing. No, it's Teddy
I was
learned how to
helping
make
my son to cook a beef Wellington.
beef Wellington at school.
I mean, what do you guys should
The
be
fuck are they
talking
teaching at that school, dude? And he had a presentation at Teddy's school. He has to give a presentation once a year. He has to have this project.
Popping my dad's thumb.
No, this was he did a culinary one where he made tomato pie, fucking disgusting. He made beef Wellington, and I've nailed it. I'll send you a picture of this thing. It's amazing. Like I'm legitimately impressed at how well he did making beef
Was
Wellington.
it better than the one that Jeff and I made?
Yes, I would say it was better than the one that you guys
Bullshit.
made. And then he made a, as he calls it, creme brulee. Is what I think that's how he pronounces it. He just wanted to do the whole thing just so that he could use the blowtorch on the creme brulee.
It's the funnest bit.
Yeah, and so I was so impressed by the beef Wellington. I said, you got to come and make this at the house, and so he did.
You
So-
used a blowtorch on your thumb?
and I got fucking burned somehow. What happened? Jack just wrote to me, "You sneaky bastard." What did I do to Jack?
Jack Patillo?
Yeah, maybe he's replying to
He wants some
somebody
beef Wellington, I guess.
else. Maybe so. I'll send you a picture of this so you can see this thing.
Do you think we could use like a flamethrower to make the biggest creme brulee?
Oh my God, how big? Like a
Like
kid's
in a,
paddling.
like
yeah,
that
like
idea.
in a paddling pool.
Oh, this is the unfortunate incident from earlier today.
Oh,
This
no.
is on our Achievement Hunter Instagram.
No.
You can follow it.
Thanks.
Oh,
Oh, so hideous.
That does look like a good celebration right there.
I mean, there was very little we had to choose from. It was either that or WD-40.
No glitter.
Didn't show the bit.
that is disgusting.
So, Matt, what is your fondest memory from 16 years of Rooster Teeth?
This podcast for sure.
The first conversation.
I have
It started so well.
Actually, I mean, just getting to 16 is pretty crazy. Barbara posted something, I think, about she was younger than 16. You were younger than 16.
I was 14, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you started watching.
Majority of my life at this point.
Yeah. I did a bit at the Ask the CEO panel last year talking about companies that started in 2003 that failed.
Right.
Have I told you this bit?
No, I actually haven't. I was going to list
do
things I
you?
was going to ask you about today.
Okay,
Yeah, that list.
So, I mean, Yvonne said something to me one time about how only like 4% of companies make it to 10 years.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then the odds go down, more and more as you go further out. So I thought, well, what were the other companies that went out of business that also started in 2003 along with us? Because it's, cool to think we've been in business that long, but it's even more fun to make fun of other companies that went out of business and started at the same time as us. So the first one that I thought was really relevant to us was Napster.
No, right.
And I used to say like Napster started earlier. It did as the original file sharing, free, illegal service, right?
Oh, gray area. But yeah,
Gray area. But I mean, I remember me and you talking a lot about the RIAA and how they were suing people who had downloaded music. They
God,
end up suing a
haven't said
12-year-old
RIA
girl.
in years.
Yeah.
Haven't even thought about that organization.
And but then they've reformed as a pay service in 2003.
Napster, not the
Napster,
RIA.
but they went out of business pretty soon after that. And the other one, another one really closely connected to us.
Yes.
You know what I'm going to say because you have it written down.
What is it? I know. There's one I remember in particular.
MySpace.
Oh, okay.
No way.
I remember.
MySpace started-
I remember Hooters Air was on your list. The
Yeah,
Air
but that was my punchline.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, that's you're the setup guy tonight.
Okay.
You're Gus. So.
2003, MySpace. And what you said if we'd stayed on MySpace, we would have been.
Yeah, if we spent all our time like marketing on MySpace or building our presence on MySpace, we would have just been trying to get as many friends as we could. More than who was it? Who's the comedian that's on there?
Tila Tequila?
Tequila. But then who's the guy? The Dane Cook.
Nipsey Russell?
Yeah, Dane Cook was the other one. Yeah, that was
Dane Cook.
Had
Oh,
somebody
Dane
had like
Cook.
a
Yeah, I
million
remember
friends
Dane
on Facebook or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and then MySpace goes away. There was at that point in time we did not think it was possible for a site like website like MySpace to just go away overnight.
No.
And it didn't overnight, but it went away really fast. And there was a lot of people like Tila Tequila who had their whole presence on there. And then what are they gonna do? Like start that all over again somewhere else? Start
It was
over
also
on
really
Twitter?
cool to watch the way the company adapted to not just doing one thing successfully. Because I feel like a ton of companies try. It's like, oh, we need to not just have this all our eggs in one basket, and then everything else kind of doesn't work, and then it's just.
Well, speaking of that,
Like, what are you
the
talking
next
about?
one on the list,
Hooters Air.
before Hooters there, Spike TV.
Oh, right.
Do you remember our interactions with Spike TV?
Yes, we were. I believe if the era was correctly, this was I'm going to say 2008 for everything today, but it was about 2008.
Yeah.
We were going around with the Red versus Blue animated show, which ended up in season 14 of Red versus Blue. It was like a G.I. Joe Saturday morning style cartoon for RVB. That was what we were taking out to TV and going to keep the web show where it was. One of the places we went was Spike TV. And they told us after we pitched it, and we even said, I think at that point, Mashable.com had said that we had the most male audience online. We were 93% male viewers and 7% female at that time,
right.
according to Mashable.
That's right.
And so he said, yeah, so this is Spike TV, the network for men. That's something we're going to bring up in this meeting, that we have a really male audience. And they're like, yeah, we're not really like trying to make programs for young men anymore because we don't know, they don't watch TV. We don't know where they went. And we're like, we kind of know where they went. And they said, yeah, our demographic that we're focused on now is women over 40. Is that what it was? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. The guy said it very straight
Spike
face.
TV, the network for
Women over
40.
Yeah, it was nuts. And like they were just doing lead ups to like syndicated shows that they had. Like,
Right.
they would take shows from networks and
I just thought that one was crazy that we both started in 2003. Because if at that time you had gone back and placed a bet on which entertainment company with a name that was a euphemism for penis would have lasted longer, I think you would have probably said Spike TV.
Yeah.
So I had, and I hope this is true, and don't debunk this, you British people over here. I had such a revelation reading about something because I'm working on this medieval thing right now, and I was thinking, I want to go back and watch Holy Grail because I love Holy Grail so much. Monty Python, is that a dick reference? Because Monty and Python? Is that like naked dick?
Yeah.
Don't think
Wow.
so.
And I never realized
Yeah.
that.
I think it was about something, but I'm not sure if that's
That means like naked python, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the
like
slang?
Steely
I
Dan,
feel
but
like I should know that. I feel like I failed some sort of test here.
Right. It was something that I was like, I looked at it, I was like, oh, I don't feel so fucking bad about Rooster Teeth now. At least Rooster Teeth was a nod to that early audience.
Yeah, but
that we
Rooster
had.
Teeth isn't the penis.
No, it's
the
not.
penis getting bitten. It's like a level beyond penis.
It's cockbite, yeah.
Yeah, we turned the.
I don't think
We
it meant
classed
anything.
up that penis joke.
Well, there was even a moment in which I even thought we could name the company Cockbite Productions, but I didn't want people to get credit card charges from cockbite.com.
Appreciate it. As a 14-year-old, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So that's where Rooster Teeth came from.
We did
And-
sell that cockbite shirt once. Remember that? And the kid got suspended or something.
Wasn't that the 69 shirt?
Oh, this is
No, we
pretty
sold
good.
that too. I think we.
We've gotten a bunch of weird like suspension notifications.
Yeah.
One kid got suspended for the Blarg shirt,
That's right.
and another kid got suspended for wearing the Blue Army shirt because it was a racist gang. The teacher was like, "I know what that is. That's a racist gang. You can't wear that shirt here." He goes, "No, it's a web comic that I watch. It's Blue Army. It's one of the teams on the thing." And she's like, "Nah." And they got suspended for not
way.
taking off his racist shirt. And to this day, I still don't know what the Blue Army, what they were trying to reference there.
I got an answer for you
Smurfs.
on that.
Okay, go for it.
So Monty Python, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah,
John
Rocco.
John Cleese and Michael Palin were given the task of coming up with a name, and they didn't do it for ages. At first, they came up with absurd names like Algae Banging Hour, Toad Elevating Moment, and The Horse's Spoon in a Bucket. But the BBC rejected all of them, and they were getting very upset. So they decided on Flying Circus first, and then they just thought Monty Python was a funny name.
Sure.
That's what they
Sounds
say
like
anyway.
the
Top
South
of the
Park.
morning to you.
Yeah, top of the morning to you. Sounds like the South Park thing where every time they went to the MPAA, they kept getting rejected, and for their R rating, they wanted to give them the NC-17 rating, and so they just kept coming back with something that was more euphemistic but way, way dirtier in every single cut. And eventually, after they submitted enough cuts, the MPAA was like, "Okay, fine, give them an R rating."
Okay, sure.
And they would just make it worse every time. That's a story that they
Was
tell.
there-
at least.
So was 2003 just a year of those kinds of names? Because now that you mentioned Hooters Air earlier, and Hooters is just
They had an airline.
They had
Hooters, the restaurant,
airline.
had an airline.
yeah. Because if like you're not making money with girls in skimpy clothing serving chicken wings,
It's crazy.
put it on a plane.
Where did
and
that
by
fly? That must.
all
I'm gonna
means.
guess that was like.
It was like South Carolina.
Carolina to Fort Lauderdale. It was like the only flight that Hooters.
So with
Hooters
the-
It
Air
was
took.
like it only ran during spring break.
How do you not put the windows in the middle of the O? By the way, how do you miss that design? I mean, the owl is looking through the double O's. O's, by the way, those are O's.
Those are
Sure,
O's, yeah.
those are
So with the
super
staff on the
furs, yeah.
plane dressed like the waitresses?
You can imagine,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. I think the
Otherwise, you're going to get some
flight
really
attendants
upset
were-
customers. I paid good money for this ticket.
I can't see the outside of the plane from in here.
You know when you land
Bullshit.
somewhere and they tell you the time zone change? Hooters Air, it's the age of consent. They just tell you when you land.
If you look to your left, you'll see 17.
we're now entering a 15.
Can you just imagine how messy one of those flights must have been?
Gross. What's wrong
It
with
was
you?
just like all the
Chicken
like
wings?
Not like an orgy
wings.
plane.
No, it's just like wing sauce everywhere.
What's wrong with you?
Because that's what they have. They're not going to serve peanuts. They're serving like hot wings to everybody. And there's turbulence. There's just hot wing sauce everywhere.
Is Hooters out of business now? The restaurant?
no,
they gone?
Both the
no,
ones
the
in Austin
airline's
are
out of
closed.
business.
How do you get fried chicken wings so wrong? How did they manage that? Do you think?
They spent too much time on their aviation plans.
It's really incredible, like how bad those chicken wings are. To me, we have a restaurant in Austin, very nice family restaurant, Plucker. Right, they're the family restaurant, Pluckers, which is a chicken wing place. It has thrived in Austin.
Is it a
Hooters-
family restaurant?
I think it's like a
There's a
sports
guy
bar.
named Plucker.
I don't know.
Do you think
John
that they
Plucker
would,
started that?
they were
Anything
trying
with
to,
a rooster that I get worried about. You know?
maybe the airline was a mistake. Like someone was researching wings and they accidentally sent an email wrong to the
That's a great
Instead
idea.
of de-icing the planes, they just use hot barbecue sauce, and that's it. They use what was their sauce called? The nuclear. The control room's being very quiet. I know you guys go to Hooters. What was the
It's
name of their
closed.
very spicy sauce at Hooters?
Who are you calling out?
Eric Badur.
Me? Why me?
Because they had like WWE night at Hooters, and I'm sure you showed up for that.
I've been to Hooters like twice ever, dude.
How was it?
How was it?
It was weird. I went with I worked at an IT job and the guys were like real into it and it was uncomfortable. It's real uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable restaurant.
What was the restaurant that Joel and Jack used to go to every day?
Oh shit!
It was like
Not True Lux. It was
Twin Peaks?
not Shakespeare's.
no, that was close. It was one of those.
Yeah, I was right around the corner from the old
was,
office. It's where I watched Obama get inaugurated. That's just like a
Daddy's?
weird thing.
Daddies. Boobs and food.
Oh,
Like,
what the hell
it
was
was like tops and bottoms
Nah.
or something like that. What? Yes. That was
Bikinis.
Yes,
bikini.
I think I went to bikinis with both of them.
Who said that?
It's not me. It's someone else here. They know all this
So
stuff.
what was the hottest sauce at Hooters, for God's sake? Somebody tell me.
Okay, so the last one on the 2003 businesses that failed.
Strangerhead. No, what was it?
That was a 2004 business that failed. 2003 failed business of the decade, Trump mortgage.
Get the hell out of here, really.
Yeah. But it did last a full 4 years.
Good for him.
A whole presidential term.
That's right.
You fuck up a mortgage business.
I mean,
Eating too many wings, probably.
So they went under in 2007. So he was ahead of the curve before 2008 when everything
When they
crashed.
crashed, yeah.
God, that was fucking crazy. So what you're saying is that of all the companies that started in 2003, Rooster Teeth is the greatest of all time? What do you say?
It's one of them.
All right. Well, I want to remind
I mean,
everybody this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is also brought to you by GOAT. If you're buying sneakers online, there's more than a coin flip's chance that the shoe you're looking at is a fake.
Should we do some recommendations for what people should watch on first? Have we done that on this?
Sure.
Sure, let's do it.
You go first.
What has the best Yeezys? Genlock, I would say right now, it's like if you're tuning in and you haven't seen Genlock because you haven't had first this year, you should definitely watch Genlock. And then what's the docs?
I know a guy that works in programming who has probably a lot more to say about this, and I'm fresh out of tea, so I should probably tag out, should I not?
Bye, Elle. Everybody say
Thanks.
bye to Ellie. Bye, Ellie.
Bye,
Bye.
Ellie.
Chad, is that what we're saying now? You work in programming? Is that what you're doing?
I would recommend The Weird Place.
Chad, checking in, everybody. Say hi, Chad.
Hey, how's it going?
Did you
This is
enjoy?
the thing now that Ellie and I are just swapping out on podcasts. Someday, Ellie.
Well, Matt said yes. So when Gus was on his fifth week of vacation? Well, I got to talk about this at some point. Did he like go to you one day, Matt, and go, "I'm going on vacation for 4 weeks"?
It was here 2 weeks ago.
No, he wasn't here for the live
You were gone.
podcast.
That was last week.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
How long has Gus been gone?
like 2 weeks.
No, 4 weeks.
Okay, 5 weeks.
5 weeks. There we go. Thank you.
It's been about a year.
It's too long. It's too long.
I agree.
When Jeff took his sabbatical, Eric, he got alcoholism like a man. And that's why he took it. And have Gus just fucking filing a report and saying, I'm leaving for a month and a half, 6 months, whatever he's been gone at this point. I just miss Gus. I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's why I'm here, perpetually filling in.
So, Gab, you're saying watch The Weird Place.
Yeah, watch The Weird Place. But don't. Well, yeah, because the final episode hasn't come out yet, so you'll get to see almost all of it.
Look at you.
So close.
The good marketing strategy.
Yeah, and
Gavin.
then you'll have to sign up.
There was something else, too, that I thought was weird timing for this. I forget what it was now. Anyway, Matt, what would you recommend everybody watch?
All of those things. Genlock, The Docs, Weird Place, Haunter. You can watch the movie with Laser Team and Bloodfest. You can watch both of those.
Hey, not to diminish our own promotion here, but did YouTube make Laser Team public for everybody? Like there was
I don't think there was. I saw a weird article about that too, but I don't think they did.
Steph is coming in.
Stuff's coming in. Very important document for you, Matt.
You want to sign a
But it
contract on
seriously
camera?
is?
Someone's gonna be blowing up that contract.
This is great.
One day we'll
What's
Thank you.
one day we'll know what
So-
that was, and it'll be
How many
significant.
pages is that document? It looks big.
No, I signed that one digitally the other day, but I thought that might come back.
or maybe like. But that was just a
that's-
contract for her to get a raise, and she sprung it on you in the podcast, so you wouldn't read it.
Steph, should we be worried that you're running out of here?
Yeah,
with a
she really is.
Yeah, she signed it and then bolted.
That was
Yeah.
her own raise, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've turned over the company to Hooters Air. I hope you guys like 3 Mile Island hot sauce.
That was Gus's approval for a 2-month vacation. That's what that was.
I'm gonna keep that in mind. If we never need something signed real quick, just spring it on Matt on a podcast.
See, I have a theory about Gus, is that he doesn't tell anybody in advance what he's going to do so that you won't notice like how egregious he's being with stuff like this. Like I'm going to get dates on this and I'm going to figure it out exactly. Like, what's an acceptable amount of vacation? Well, 2 weeks is extreme.
I knew that he was gonna go like a month ago, dude.
You did, Eric.
Yeah, I knew.
How did you know and I didn't know?
Because he said, "Hey, I'm gonna be gone for these podcasts." And
How many
I said,
podcasts? Like 6?
2. This one and last week.
Nah, more.
Guys, if you're watching at home, thank you for tuning in. Gus will be back next week, and we can't wait.
His plane
We'll see.
lands at 4 p.m. on Monday.
I feel like a lot of people,
He's stretching it out.
a lot of people take vacation, but you only care when it's Gus.
I do. I don't want him to be happy. I feel like it's bad. Can you imagine
You're winning.
I know. What happens if Gus comes back and he's rested and fresh-faced? Who wants to see
that's
that?
a good point.
Give it
That's
a
good point.
day.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, start asking him about his exact dates, and then he'll be right pissed off
I'll
immediately.
make him have one conversation with like Max and Christina and John Reisinger, and he'll be like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah."
Goddamn youth.
All these young people sucking away his energy.
Yep. I needed him for an end screen, and no one seemed to know when he was coming back. Because then I was like
you
I've
go.
needed it
Okay,
forever.
so it's in the system. Like there's a tool that we have where you have to request.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
thing, and I'm sure he did it. I told him that I can never get my sign-in to work, so I don't see when he's requested vacation time. But he's very like meticulous about actually putting it in. So it's just I don't know. I'm sure he put it in there, and I just missed it.
Speaking of which, I wonder if it might be our fault. So way back, Craig didn't want to deal with approving people's PTO, and I was like, I'll handle that because I did a lot of the HR stuff for Screw Attack, and we tried to get it set up in the system that Craig was their report team manager, but all the requests went through me. And at one point they were like, when I checked in, I was like, what's going on with that? They're like, oh, we tried to do it, and actually Matt lost the ability to see anyone's stuff. And then they were
That's
like,
your
we're not
fault?
gonna do that.
What?
You just admitted it on camera.
I thought they said, but then they said they weren't gonna go through with it. I never got access to
How
see
did you
people's
even
stuff.
figure out a way to break something like that? It's like not even. Like,
I don't know.
it's
It
not
all
just
went to
like
Chad.
No, I don't see anybody.
Chad.
Nobody.
Like, Matt,
This is
if-
huge.
So
let's
did
say-
you approve Gus's vacation?
No,
I think you did.
I didn't get to see any of it.
How long of a vacation would you approve for Gus? Like, what would be no way?
Well, I'd approve just like retirement.
That's the dream.
Just like an infinity symbol. I think we should give that responsibility to the newest employee at all times.
Approvals? Yeah.
PTO approvals.
That's like an interesting way to keep,
Although that switch hands
That's kind
every
of
single
like
week.
that might make things tough.
that might be great,
confusing.
actually. Like, the newest employee should approve all your vacations.
Oh,
Like, that would be their responsibility. Like the intern.
apparently Chad approves my vacations now.
I guess I don't know. No, I never got access to it, so I assume they reverted everything back and we were fine.
Who's they?
Who's the Who's
Yeah,
I was talking with the
who's
HR.
the mis-
I was talking to HR.
Still too vague.
I don't
we need
remember.
names.
It's been a while.
Do they still work here?
Can we say Glenn's name? Glenn.
It's probably Glenn's fault. Sure. I'm just gonna throw anyone else under this bus before it hits me. Speaking of which, I almost died this morning.
What?
What?
I was on the highway, and you guess I'm sure you've had this where like a semi is changing lanes to right next to you, and you
Were you in
always
a
think
car?
like, what if they don't stop? That happened. So I had a concrete divider on my right side, and then the semi comes over, and then I'm clearly like, all he has to do is look in his mirror, and he can see me 100%. And then the blinker's still on, and it just starts coming, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, there's no way this is actually happening. So I just like slam on my horn, and he keeps coming over, and so I go over to the right as far as I can, and my mirror taps the concrete divider as I'm slamming on the brakes and the horn, and the guy finally sees me and then backs off. And I just like had a terrifying moment.
God,
But all I
shit
got
my
was a
pants.
tiny little scuff on my mirror. But there's a point where like his tires were literally about to touch my car, and I was about to hit the concrete divider.
Yikes.
You should have had one of those really low cars and like gone under,
I thought about it.
like Fast and the Furious style.
I did have that moment because the tires were right here, and I was like, I'm hitting the brakes, and I'm going back, and I'm like, but should I speed up and try and get under it? It wouldn't have worked.
You probably would
That's
just, like,
terrifying.
Yeah.
shave the top of your car off as he came over.
Yeah. If cartoons have taught me anything, it's that. That's
Luckily,
exactly what happened.
Luckily, in Austin, traffic is never going faster than about 15 miles an
Right.
hour at any point in time.
That's
So if you're on the freeway, I'm assuming you were in bumper to bumper.
Oh, God, no one ever speeds here. I know that sounds terrible.
You can't. How
Like,
could you? There's a car
You're
2
from
feet in front of you.
Dallas.
I know.
People drive like maniacs. in
Houston too,
Dallas.
man.
Right. And then you come down here, and it's like, listen, 5 over is acceptable, okay? 5 over is like my go-to. But they all drive 5 under down here, and it's just infuriating.
Have you been going? I've been going 85 in the left lane in Dallas highways and get honked.
Oh, people
Yeah,
will ride
people
your
come
ass
up
and
and
honk
honk.
you.
Because you're going
Yeah.
too slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Is it the
terrifying.
speed limit? Is 85 the speed limit in Dallas?
No, God, no. Everything's like 60.
No, but they fuck it. They don't care.
Yeah.
Houston's like turn signals don't exist in Houston. It's just, in fact, I still to this day think turn signals are optional. Like if someone criticizes me for not using a turn signal to change lanes, I'm like, but you don't have to. It's like, you actually
do that,
You
yeah.
actually do need to do that. You need to signal your changes. I was like, oh, we didn't learn that in Houston.
I know, Gavin's
Like,
like,
I'm coming over. Shoop.
Yeah.
Look at the idea with body language.
Well,
Just
you
like
can
lean.
actually. If you don't want to turn on your blinker, you can roll out your window. You can put your hand out and you can do the sign. This is turning right and this is turning left.
So
I find that trying to do that on a bike, I find that's harder than it seems. Like, it's one thing to take your hands off the handlebars, but leaving one hand on the handlebars and doing machinations like the Macarena over here, it's like it does fuck with my balance a little bit.
It's waving. It's
Not like this though with the stop. And this one's easy.
How fast are you going?
This
Like,
way-
if you're going like more than 5 miles an hour, it doesn't really have that much effect. Are you
If
going?
if it got the one hand on, then you get a little bump and you can only compensate with one hand. The
calling
secret
me?
is it's your fucking bike.
That
I
contract.
get so mad at
think they're
bikes
calling
when
it
I'm in the
that
car,
contract again.
but when I'm on a bike, I just say, look, fuck it. Every other biker in the world pretends like they're a pedestrian when it's convenient. I'm gonna do the same fucking thing.
Okay, the car
Crossing
thing.
crosswalks.
The car thing and the turn signal.
Yeah,
JD just had his driver's license. Right?
much better driver than I am.
Right, if you had to go back and take the written portion of the driver's test, how do you think you would do?
Oh, I'd fail. I'd probably fail.
So I have actually something that happened this weekend. JD scored higher than me on the SAT.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the way I told him that was he told me a score, and I was like, "That's 20 points higher than I got on the SAT."
Shouldn't have done that. It's admitting weakness.
No, I didn't. I go, "Oh, we got the same score."
Nice.
I lied
There
to
you
him. I lied to my own son in the kitchen. This is the first time I've admitted it, even to myself, that
What's
he got
the gain from lying?
just dominance. I don't know, just. I mean, I don't want him to think he can take me in my sleep or something like that. But yeah, I straight up fucking lied to him.
No, when you have kids, like you need them to think that you know more than they do, because if they don't, it's just endless arguments.
Oh yeah, because they won't like blindly follow you anymore. Like,
Right.
You say something like, "We should do this," and you're like, "No," you're like,
Oh, my daughter's already there and she's 6.
"Uh oh."
So there's a whole. Did I tell you the story about the goblins?
That game.
No,
tell you
the story
about the
about the goblins.
What?
I think I told this on off topic actually, but so we've always taught Kira to like, hey, question everything, right? Like that's
Oh,
good. Like
I'm sorry, you did tell me this one. Yeah.
I did tell you.
I think you told us on the live podcast, didn't you?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Or maybe I
might
just
have.
heard it.
And
Go
so
ahead,
I
tell
don't need to tell it again because I don't want to like spare. Everybody's seen it. Long story short, she thinks goblins are real, and she argued with me to the ground. And when I finally was like, scientists would have found out goblins are real, and she's like, well, they didn't think dinosaurs were real until they found their bones. So they haven't found their bones yet. Goblins are real, and I just didn't know it.
I got nothing.
Be deeper.
I got nothing.
What do goblin bones look like?
I don't know.
Dinosaur bones, but smaller.
Soon they'll find them, and then my daughter will be right.
So I
Anyway.
would not do well on the driver's test. I'm pretty sure.
Why? Because you don't know the
I
rules?
failed it once. I failed it when I moved to California.
Yeah?
I had like let my license lapse, and so I just waltzed in. I was like, I'll just get my license real quick, and and all the things about when to use turn signal, what color are the curbs, and all that stuff. I failed it by like one question. I couldn't believe it. As an adult, it seems like you shouldn't like once you've gotten over that hump. So like I was doing geometry with my kid, this weekend, and it's like I don't know how to do geometry.
Nope.
Like I had to do it.
But that makes sense because you haven't needed to do it in so long. But
Right.
you drive every day.
I know, but like the written portion, like I can drive, I know how to drive, even though it's but like now they have autopilot cars, so it's like how much longer do you even need to drive? But
That's what everyone says. There's still no excuse for not being able to drive.
no, sure. But the written portion of the test, it's like there's more stuff. Like how far back? Here's a question I remember missing. How far back from
Fire hydrant?
No,
A car?
from a
Two cars.
railroad track crossing. Do you need to stop?
At the white line.
Yeah.
No,
That
there's,
should be
there's
the
no white
answer.
line. It's like, is it 25 feet, 35 feet, 45 feet?
I'd say 25. Which from what? The track or from
35
the,
feet.
the
From the
arm?
railroad track.
Okay.
45.
35.
I don't know the answer because I failed it, but it is a question you needed to know.
But they didn't tell you like what you got wrong? Because I find that's the stuff I remember the most is stuff I got wrong. That has stuck with me
When they
forever.
talk to you and then you, well, I don't remember there being a let's help you figure this out part of that. It was just you failed, get out, come back later.
Think about what you've done.
Yeah.
I know I made the right call by lying to my son because, as he said, I got this score on the SAT. I said, we got the same score. I got the exact same score. Total lie. And I go, and that's your first time? I go, I took it once as well, and I got that score, which was enough that I wanted to get into Notre Dame, and that was high enough for me to get in. But I was still 20 points lower than what he said. He just didn't know this. And then he goes, oh, well, probably when you were going to college, that was a good score. I was like, fuck you. What?
Whoa.
Yeah. So he's like facing down of just like, it really is very different. As an example, University of Texas, I did not even apply to go to UT, which is the school that I went to.
Yeah.
I applied to go to Notre Dame. I grew up in a Notre Dame family. I was a Notre Dame kid. I was going to go to Notre Dame. I took all my courses in high school in order to like exactly what Notre Dame wanted, like including physics and the AP courses that they wanted. Did all that, got the score on the SAT they wanted. And my dad was an alum. He's got one of his masters at Notre Dame. And applied, and I got in Notre Dame. And then my parents, after all that, go, yeah, we can't afford to send you to Notre Dame. And it was going to be $21,000 a year. It was going to be $22,000 a year if I wanted. There's money in this. What is this?
What did you just materialize money?
Hey, now you can go to Notre Dame.
$100? It's like a fake 100. Why does that guy look like James Franco? Big fat James Franco here. That's your $100. It's fake $100 bill, and the the chair here. But my parents,
This is my bonus.
they said I couldn't afford to go. So then I was like, this is in, I think, April of my senior year. I'm about to graduate. And there was a rule in Texas that if you were in the top 10% of your class for your high school class, then you were automatically accepted into UT. And that's how I got in. I was just automatically accepted to UT, even though I never applied to go there.
Well, that worked out pretty well for you guys. Huh?
It's now like 6%, top 6%. So
Could you not
it's
have just got a student loan to go there?
I could have, and I ended up paying from like after I switched majors in my second semester of my junior year. My parents were like, "Well, we're not going to fucking pay for you to go into computer science after you've been pre-med for 3 years." So I had to pay for the labs in undergrad for 6 years because I switched majors, and I ended up paying most of it on like credit cards and stuff like that. Matt watched me when we lived together after college. I paid off $21,000 in credit card debt in 1 year.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was intense because I had a tech job coming out. And so I just like stayed in the same shitty apartment with the $25 couch that Matt and I bought our last year in college.
Just to avoid interest.
I just stayed there and just like paid it
had
off.
the absolute worst college couch. It literally was $25.
It was $25. Yeah.
That we bought from like across the street. And so
Just across the street, not at a place. Like it was just
no,
there,
some
and there was
dude
a
across
guy.
the street, and so we had to like just pick it up and like carry the couch like down the street. It's like down Riverside Drive.
Yeah, down Riverside.
We
Yeah.
looked like just
Well,
We were stealing a couch.
yeah, we looked like we were stealing a couch. It
But
was
does that make
ridiculous.
it better when
Not a couch that anyone would want to steal, by the way.
that must make it better though when you look back on that and wait, I haven't seen your house now. I assume it's nice, but to like remember that moment.
Still have that couch?
There you go.
I don't know what happened to that couch.
I don't know.
That was a weird apartment.
It was
There's a photo. This will date it. It was a Polaroid photo of me,
back
you,
in.
and Joel sitting on the carpet eating pizza because we didn't have furniture. So we're just
Eating,
sitting like in the living room.
Here we got a picture of this of the couch. Actually, it's on this stone tablet. We chiseled it. It took a while.
It survived all these years.
But speaking of, your wife tweeted out a photo of you guys graduating college. I saw.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
1997.
yeah. Was that what it was? Yeah. Yikes. Yeah.
1997.
You're rocking a bitchin' necklace there, Matt.
I know, right?
That's so
fashion,
90s.
man.
Was that
There
your-
it is.
was that
Yeah, that's some fashion right there.
Is that your TCB necklace?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
You know the TCB.
Anna made that necklace.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
a guitar string for the cord.
Is
That's
that the
really
hat,
cool.
or did you have a widow's peak?
That's the what do you call those hats? The mortar board.
Mortarboard.
Oh, it's the hat.
It's the
I kind of
graduation
do look
hat.
like I have a widow's peak. Don't
Bernie actually does have a
I?
widow's
Like
peak.
that.
Yeah, I always have.
a little bit.
I also wear 100% of my weight in my face. I've always been that way. I was talking with Josh today, and he was saying that like we were talking about the diabetes thing because that's what Josh talks about, and he was saying that people who are predisposed to diabetes are people who wear their weight in their trunk. Like if they get like a big spare tire, they're that's what he said. At least.
So you
Someone told
want
me.
it up in your face.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've always had like in
You're
my
not going to get
face.
face diabetes.
What's that?
You're not going to get.
I
Face
come from
diabetes?
jowly stock.
Diabetes.
Jowly star.
That would be a terrible diagnosis, wouldn't it? Go to the doctor. What's wrong with my face? You have face diabetes.
There's no cure yet for facial diabetes, but
Cool. So Eric, there's the title. Face diabetes.
Face diabetes. But your TCB necklace, we recently learned
What's
that the TCB lightning bolt. Do you know where
Yeah.
that comes from?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Elvis.
Yeah, but do you know where he got inspired by to make that?
Oh no.
Shazam.
Oh, thank
He
God.
was a huge Shazam fan.
The lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
And even like the little cape that he wore on stage later in his career, Elvis, with the lightning bolt
the
stuff,
Shazam thing.
all based on Captain Marvel's Shazam.
we
Yeah.
have
cool.
a lot of people in the chat who weren't born when that picture was taken.
All right,
Yeah, I think that was one of the first comments on.
I like this guy. Sorry,
I
this
was
guy.
not
Fuck,
even
I'm as
alive.
old as these old fucks.
I was born in 98.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
for
that person's
contribution.
21.
So how long until someone is hired that was born after the company started?
Were you talking?
Yeah,
what were you talking about
I tweeted about this the other day.
Yeah.
It's well, we're now 16 years, so I think within the next 2 to 3 years, someone will come probably through the internship program at UT. Someone will come to work here at the office within the next 2 to 3 years who was born after the company started.
God, that's insane.
We're that close to it at this point. Pretty fucking close. Very
Well, I just saw at the All Hands that I've been here for 5 years, apparently. I think they counted my full screen time. But, like,
Yeah.
time with Screw Attack, 10. And then that 5. Like, it just kind of flew by. It's wild. Man, Eric, you really sprung on your budget there for this set decor.
I love that when you're talking about times
That's
16
a
fell
good
off the
sign,
wall.
right?
Please be careful
91.
with my set decorations. Thank you.
Here, you want
well, since Gus
$100?
hasn't been here for a few weeks, I feel like I should do an ad read like him. So, okay, guys, I'm gonna read this advertisement.
Nailed it.
How'd I do? Is that the perfect Gus segue of all times? Thank you. Been sitting here for 580 podcasts. I got it right. Welcome back, Gus. We missed you after 4 months of being gone. This episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by my degree is in computer science, and Adam and Gus are the only people that I trust for when it comes to security for anything at all. And I have to admit, I'm woefully behind on my VPN-ness. I should have that by now, and I just don't.
If you had say there was a feature when you start a company, you can sign up for something where like a big gong noise goes off when you're exactly halfway through your company's life. Would you want that feature? Imagine you just sitting at your desk, it's like, bong. You're like, oh God, what's going to happen? How many years has it been?
Jeff texted us happy anniversary this morning, and I just wrote back halfway there.
Yeah, it'd be crazy if it's not even halfway yet.
What? You're hoping it doesn't last more than 32 years? Is that what you're saying?
He's not even halfway.
It'd be crazy if we're not at the halfway point yet.
And then
Is that what you guys said?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then your incredulous laughter didn't instill a lot of confidence.
What's what I'm saying? I think
in the people sitting on the
you were
couch.
saying like we're at halfway, so the company can't possibly last more than 30 years. 32
No,
years.
I guess
was thinking
I
it's
just
crazy
don't know how long these companies last.
Well,
But hopefully we're not
Warner-
halfway yet.
Warner Brothers is 96.
Fair play. We just got to keep up with the memes.
Yeah.
And
As someone who did not found this company or slow-mo guys, I'm very uncomfortable
Why?
because I would like to continue to have employment. This is very important to me and my dependents,
it's a
who
good
I will show
company.
you pictures of after the show. No, just
Just keep identifying those great podcast title names like Face
Yeah, I'm gonna-
Diabetes and
Yep.
And give everyone less PTO.
yeah.
I don't think I've used any of that in ages. Years, maybe.
PTO?
I don't think so.
Yeah. You guys don't do your timesheets.
I'll get to it.
Yeah, since Yvonne
You can't
retired.
do it from the office, outside
Well,
the office.
Everyone
your,
knows,
your
Gavin.
inbox must have gotten so much cleaner after Yvonne retired.
Yvonne
email
would
you
send
every
out.
day about your timesheet.
No, she would
The
send out
management's shameless.
It was a shameless, and she would
Yeah.
say, "Here's everyone who didn't fill out their timesheets or time cards."
I'll be honest with you.
And the
Dude,
best thing about it was, if you were like weeks behind, she would put your name in like 3 or 4
Multiple times.
so you could see, like, scan it and go, "Whoa, Gavin's got a huge section of like
Right.
6 times here."
when it was the holiday party and she was retiring, she went around the party and giving all these like really heartfelt moments to people. And I heard a few of them. To me, she had a nice heartfelt moment, and then she said, "Do your timesheets." That's the last thing she ever said to me.
Let me see. I probably have one of these. Oh, you only had 2 missing on this one. Well, it's great to see. It went out to all management, right? And so like we would see these updates. And I remember once somebody on my team, I don't want to call them out, but they had forgot to do theirs. And it was like the first time that somebody had made it on. It was like, hey, just remember you got to do that. They're like, oh, I feel so bad. I'm like, don't feel so bad. Gavin's on here like 7 times.
I'm gonna go see the last one on here that she sent out. Let me see. It's been a while since she sent one. Have you noticed that Yvonne set up a couple automated things that I didn't know were automated? That she was sending out,
calendar
the calendar
things, yeah.
stuff, and she was sending it out like, hey, keeping everyone up to date on what the calendar is. But then since she's retired, those emails keep showing up from her.
She actually retired 4 years ago. She only told Chad.
It's super weird. That's like get these emails from her. Then I realized, oh, she had automated all that
Nope.
stuff. I thought she was in her office, like diligently typing away. No, she was just hunting down Gavin for timesheets.
I'm gonna go and do them all in her honor. It's just really annoying to do on your phone.
Were
Bloody
you
annoying.
ever? Okay, I made fun of Yvonne for automating it. I'm gonna ruin something for myself. My timesheets, because I just did a bunch of different stuff, but they determined it's for budgets and things. Like I didn't want to assign my time to podcast and shorts and because it would make the budgets go way up because they were taking like my percentage of the week. Like if I dedicated 1 day to the podcast and like 1 day every week of my salary would go to that. And it was like, they didn't calculate for that when they would do the budgets for stuff. So I said to Matt, can I just mark my stuff every week as executive, like 100%. And then I just appear on the shows like in the time that I have outside of that. He goes, that's totally fine. So what I did was
I hate it when that happens for me.
I had to go through and I had to fill out the same thing every week though. It was like 100% of my time to the executive category. And I kept doing that every week. And finally went to Adam Baird's office. I go, hey, can you like write me a little script that automates this? And he said, yes, but do not tell anyone that I did this. And so for years I had mine automated and then it got shut off. So now I feel okay about ratting him out. He should not have done that. That was not good.
You didn't share the wealth with Gavin?
Well,
his is all over the place stuff.
Yeah.
He's got like Slow-Mo Guy, he's got Achievement Hunter.
Yeah,
He's got
but
podcast.
even some information's better than none.
But that shaming list was so serious that when Ashley was on it one time, and we had like a whole discussion about it at home. That was like, hey, you can't get on the shaming list. Once you get on there, you can't get off.
There was some where she had more than I did.
Yeah, there was one where
She was like beating me.
Yeah, I think that was the week we had the talk. Yeah. Like, it's like, I remember even saying, like, Gavin's only got 2. You had 3 on there. You went 3 weeks without filling out a time card. It's just silly. Those time cards are, like, contentious, too, because we didn't have them until 2008, let's say. 2009. This is our catch-all year for everything at this point. But we got them. We don't have many arguments. Like, I can count probably on one hand, like, going all the way back to being a company, like, actually having, like, arguments with each other about stuff. There was one time I got really mad at Gus and Jeff, like year 3, and we were yelling. I was yelling in a parking lot somewhere.
It's about Hooters.
What?
It's about where you're going to eat.
No, it wasn't about where we were going to eat. It was about, if I recall correctly, the conversation was about feedback. It was about like notes and feedback on our projects and the timeliness of that. And I had just hit a wall because it was like 3 seasons straight of just up all night, and I was pretty angry. There was a big fight, though, over time cards. Like, one of the few things we got, like, people got in an argument over was time cards, and people didn't think that they should have to do their time cards. And it just turned into this big fight over a little form, a little thing.
That was a fight here?
Yeah, which clearly Adam Baird can just automate it for you if you just go and grease the wheels a little bit. But yeah, it's really weird, this stuff that does cause fights. But over like 16 years, there haven't been any like major creative battles or anything like that I can think of.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stack up so many that one week I want to have the ability to select timesheets as what I was doing that week.
That'd be a great idea. Dedicate like 20% of your week to timesheets. One full day.
They'll have to create a new category just so you can fill
is
it out.
Chelsea still in the building?
Maybe.
I wish she would come in. Oh, man. I wish she would come in and shame you all in person right now.
Access to the...
You know?
She knows all the secrets.
I'm sorry, I'm reading chat here and I'm getting lost in it. It's all the memes too. It's like, is this Bernie? Is this the time you punched Jeff? I'm like, when did I punch Jeff? Then I realized, was that a JonTron meme or something? That there was a fight and somebody got punched or something like that?
Maybe. That sounds vaguely familiar.
Remember that? Nobody got punched. Nobody's ever.
You
punched.
did scuba on top of him once, though, which annoyed
Oh, that did make him mad. That was in the very first short
God, that was funny.
we ever did. Wasn't the first short? It was definitely the box.
No, it was from the Halo disc.
That one. No, I did hit him pretty hard in that.
You hit him a bunch.
I think it was the season.
Even when I was like, you don't need to hit him that hard, and he's like, you were like, yeah, I do.
It'll be funny.
I've
better.
never hit
It's off
Jeff.
screen, Bernie. It's fine.
You hit him pretty hard in that. Yeah, I hit him a bunch. Like,
No,
you
it was
were like,
on
we were in
camera.
a minute.
By the
That's
arcade
different.
cabinet where like,
Yeah.
you like snapped his neck.
I spit on him and shoved him.
No, I think the box one.
Spit on it.
Spit in his face and then shoved him.
I think the box one was the season finale of season 1. I think
That's what it
Where
was.
Oh,
Shannon
when
The
you
time
sat
machine
on,
box.
when you sat on him.
Well, he said a scuba, but I held my nose and I went in backwards.
Oh, right.
And I landed on him.
Yeah.
And I was probably about 40 pounds heavier back then. So
Yeah.
he was.
I was in the back room and Jeff came in to sit down at his desk. And he was like, Bernie's heavy, dude.
He was so fucking mad about it. Did he come in pouting or was he like fuming?
No, he was just in pain.
That box was just like a torture device. Between that and Shannon.
I don't even know where we got that box. I think there was like a wood crate we found by the dumpster out
Wasn't
behind
it-
the old office.
Oh, was that what it was? I felt like it was like something that we had ordered, like part of a set or something.
It looked pretty fresh. It didn't look like it was on the street for a
Where
while.
did we order a box?
No. It's not ordered
Elon.
the box, but the box was containing something we had ordered.
For Congress office? What would that be though? It's a wooden crate.
I don't know. It's kind of equipment. I don't remember now.
This Monty.
We found it in the alley.
We assembled Monty.
We found it in the alley with our couch.
Yeah, no, it was
college couch.
Do you remember the other thing we found in the alley that we had for years?
Gus.
No, we had a cart. Remember that push cart that we had? It was the one that was wobbly because it was the reason why the hotel had thrown it out is because the top bar was missing. And I was like, ooh, that's a good cart. So I went, like, pulled it inside, and then we had that cart for probably like 5 or 6 years, man.
Hey, you remember what else we found in the alley that was useful?
Remember we found the human turd in the torn up milk carton?
Oh yeah, that was
fun.
awful.
Tasted terrible.
There's a lot you've got to learn about having a downtown office, and
there's
just, like piles of turd as well.
There's a very popular restaurant here that I feel like I shouldn't name because I don't know what Hooters. That they used to have a 6th Street location, and they were always getting broken into, and then it went away, and they have a bunch of other locations now. But I remember talking to somebody who worked at that location, who said, yeah, they closed it up after they came to work, coming in the back door, and there was a dead body on the back door.
Yikes.
Damn.
Yikes.
Hooters Air.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be tough starting your workday.
That'd be
finding a dead
tough,
body.
yeah.
Be worse to be the dead person,
Yeah, a little bit.
but
Well, it's over for them. They don't have to eat there.
they don't have to eat there. Nobody has to eat there. Yeah, I can see. I was like, why would Matt name the restaurant? But if they had a dead body in their entrance to their building, yeah, it'd be
tough.
You wouldn't want to know that.
Also, Eric, the reason this fell down is you used masking tape. You didn't even use gaff tape.
It's paper, Chad.
Yeah, it stays up pretty strong.
Yeah, did it?
usually. Yeah, well, no, that's wood on the back. If it would have been paper to paper, it would have been great.
You have so much other tape at your disposal.
Oh, somebody's
There we go.
What?
Offrix117 is Offrix117 OFRX. Is that a Is that a Halo reference? 117?
I don't know.
No, some agent. Somebody's asking me what
117 is
was
the
my
thing they hide and
depressing
everything.
travel thing that I talked about, but then didn't go back to. So I've always said, you hear about long flights, you're worried about radiation. And I've always said, well, we know that like flying a lot doesn't cause cancer or expose you to a lot of radiations, because if that were the case, pilots and flight attendants would have an increased risk of cancer. And sure enough, Harvard just put out a study that says that U.S. flight attendants at elevated risk of several forms of cancer. U.S. flight attendants have a higher prevalence of several forms of cancer, including breast cancer, uterine cancer, gastrointestinal cancer, thyroid cancer, cervical cancer, when compared with the general public. So
What?
Yikes!
I think you have to start wearing lead suits.
I don't know, man. Because that was the thing too. It's like I really think one of the things that really put the no smoking thing over the hump was airlines and stewardesses having to, or flight attendants, I should say, having to be on these tin cans with people just smoking nonstop in them. And I really feel like that was a situation everyone could empathize with, and that was something that led to no smoking going away. But yeah, they now have conclusive evidence according to Harvard. I trust Harvard; they're a good school. I couldn't afford to go there.
They're no Notre Dame, but yeah.
They're not Notre Dame, but they're a pretty good school. And that was in a report published online in Environmental Health on June 25th, 2018. Over the course of their careers, flight attendants are regularly exposed to several known and probable carcinogens, including cosmic ionizing radiation, disrupted sleep cycles,
They're getting
and
Fantastic
circadian
Four?
rhythms, and possible chemical contaminants in the airplane. Moreover, cabin crews are exposed to the largest effective annual ionizing radiation dose relative to all other radiation workers in the U.S. because of both their exposure to and lack of protection from cosmic radiation.
But that's how the Fantastic Four was created.
Yeah, in a comic. Yeah, they went up and they got hit by with a cosmic ray.
Cosmic rays.
Yeah.
So the guys in space must be bombarded with it.
Yeah,
Like the guy who spent a year in space.
Well, it
Yeah, but
depends.
they have
What's
more-
the age of consent up there?
they have more shielding on their stuff as well. But yeah, I mean, cosmic rays, as far as I know, they just pass through everything pretty much. And so you're going to get hit, but I guess it gets a little bit more diffused when it passes through stuff. So I don't know. And I mean, I guess astronauts would be at a higher risk for cancer too, if that's the case.
It's mind blowing.
Especially the dude who was up there for a year,
That
living-
really messed him up. Like if you read about that guy now,
Yeah.
he can't see well, and it really just messed up his whole body.
But that was kind of the
Really?
purpose of putting him up there, right? Was to
Yeah.
figure out what the long-term effects of that are.
Fuck this guy up. What's the purpose of this mission? We were gonna fuck this guy up.
Been up there for a year.
Yeah, he has so many problems. he doesn't have diabetes of his face.
Did he start to decline when he was on the space station, or was it just on his return? Could he go back to the space station and be fine?
No, I think it.
What poll did they put up?
Wait a minute. So like he just acclimated to space. So is that what you're saying? So if he went
spaceman.
back there, he's okay, but on Earth he's bad.
Right. Like he's now he's gravitatized.
He's gravitatized, so that's like a sad science fiction movie.
So he's got to go back to space to survive.
Yeah.
They did that movie. The Space
It's
Between
like,
Us or something like
I
that.
have to live in space now.
It's a pun.
Like you want to come back and see your family, but now you've acclimatized where you can only stay alive in space.
Yeah.
So you have to leave your little like daughter and your wife behind.
You watch The
She just turned
Expanse?
It's
16.
sad, man. That's a sad movie.
You ever watch The Expanse?
I have
The
not seen The
Expanse?
Expanse.
It's a show. So I think it's a sci-fi show.
A sci-fi show?
Expanse. They have, I think I'm thinking about the right one. They've got 3 major territories. They have Mars, Earth, and then Eros. It's an asteroid. So the people who live there are used to living in very low gravity. And there's even like torture scenes where they bring them to Earth and they just basically have to deal with Earth's gravity. And they're not used to being in it. And that's the way they torture someone for interrogation. Right? Any Expanse viewers in here? Did I get that right? Chat? Am I right on that? Expanse?
Guess no one.
I'm all alone. I'm the only person watching that show, I guess.
I genuinely worry about the people who are going to colonize Mars.
What do you worry about them?
You mean Elon Musk?
Do you think he'll go?
That he himself will go?
Yeah.
Isn't that what he said he wants to do? And that is like his whole game plan?
Yeah, but he
He
talks a
chickens out
mean
the last
game.
minute. You see him, like you think he's getting on the spaceship. It takes off, and then like camera like whips over, and he's in the corner going, "Sorry."
I saw that thing about that one guy. They fucked him up real good. I'm not going up there.
That's right.
It'd be great too if he
I don't
like
want to get acclimatized up there.
if he timed it perfectly where he lands on Mars, steps off the rocket, and then his fucking car lands that we launched, and then he just gets in it like one smooth motion and drives away on Mars. That'd be so fucking dope. What's your opinion of Elon Musk?
He's crazy.
I don't think so. I mean, I really appreciate Elon Musk. And this could sound like I'm like a Tesla
Trying to invite him on the show.
fanboy or whatever.
Wasn't there like some controversy around him?
Well, with the whole Thai divers thing, he
The
just,
pedo guy?
Yeah, he said a stupid thing.
He might have been
and then
that.
doubled down on it. That's the problem.
That's a problem.
When you double down on something stupid you say, that's a problem.
Did he
At the
consider
same
that-
time, why are we getting upset about him insulting someone online? Which, yeah, is shitty. The guy's going to sue him and he'll get some money. Good for him, you know? But this is a guy who's like doing all the stuff that billionaires you hope are going to do with their money. You know, like he's trying to figure out a way to fucking taking rockets off and landing them back on a barge somewhere in the middle of the ocean, you know, and figuring out ways to do that in ways that our government is not able to figure it out.
And they released their patents on the electric car stuff.
Pretty cool. Yeah, he released all of Tesla's patents.
Is that where all the glitter went?
That's where all the glitter. He's buying all the glitter.
Broadcast.
He's taking it to Mars. That's
Dude, that would
the
be
celebration
great.
party is all the glitter.
Glitter-powered rocket.
I just genuinely worry about the cutthroat, because a lot of the people who are going to colonize Mars know that they're going to Mars, they can't ever come back. And to make that decision, it takes like a certain kind of person. Very like,
Well, I fucked up my life here. Better start over.
and that's going to be the new basis for a new colony.
But isn't that every colony?
That's what I was going to say. Like, then you think of it, it's like everyone who, went to discover the new world
Yeah.
was kind of a savage.
Yeah.
And I guess that's how new colonies are born.
This is the British perspective of this. All the colonists, everyone who left was a savage.
Hey,
All my people.
I was about to say, you chose to come over here, Gavin.
Look, it was a little bit before my time. I can
We
say-
were
I can
already
say that.
civilized by then. Gavin let all the savages come and do all the work for him in their colonies.
But it's true. Like, any pioneer is an absolute lunatic.
I'll take a beer. It's we're coming to the end of the podcast. But Gus isn't here, so we can stay late. Can we stay late, Matt? We have to
go.
fill out time cards.
Eric will love that.
If we stay late. Hey, we're also supposed to talk about RTX. There's an ad read for it, but RTX is a convention that we have every year. So let's talk about RTX.
We're gonna have karaoke this year.
Are we really?
Let me see if there's anything
Yeah.
in here that we should talk about specifically. Head over to
Catered by
RTX.com
Hooters.
right
Looking
now.
forward to karaoke
On the
We
spot.
should start singing
July
right now
5th
because
through
we
the
know how
7th.
much broadcast enjoys that.
and just keep singing until we get to RTX.
Yes.
Just don't stop.
You excited about RTX this year? We're talking about panels. I'm going to have a lot of panels this year, I think. I got a panel, I think, with a special guest we've got coming. I've got RT Podcast, got another Rooster Teeth panel, like live action and shorts and stuff like that. And then now it looks like there's a potential another one that we're doing that's just one of my favorite panels. We're going to do that as well. So I'm going to be pretty stacked with panels on
Yes.
this. Which I personally think that's what I would like to see RTX do more and more of. Is more and more panels.
Yep.
Just because, I do like the individual stuff of seeing people in autograph line, but I'm always very efficiency minded during
Yeah, you
RTX.
see a
'cause
lot
there's
more
so many
people.
right?
Yeah.
Because there's so many people, and it's like if it takes 2 hours to meet about 100 people in an autograph session, or 120 that's in
Not
those
exactly
sessions-
an efficient use of
no
time in that respect.
right. And if you multiply that by the number of people that have autograph sessions at RTX or
I think
from
the-
Rooster Teeth, it's not everyone gets to do it.
The most efficient way to do it would be actually if you just hung yourself above the convention hall and just everyone could just look at you and then you get the most people involved at once.
Why do you think I like Elon Musk so much? I'm going to get like 8 drones and I'm just going to fly over the convention center and say hi to everybody.
In the chat, what's your favorite part of RTX?
Well, in the chat, ever been to RTX? Karaoke confirmed at RTX. Matt, you going to do karaoke?
Yeah, I'll do karaoke.
Will you do karaoke during the Ask the CEO panel?
Oh, that's a great idea.
The Ask the CEO panel is the one panel, and I shouldn't say this because I always sit in the back, but it's the one panel that I always attend. Like, I don't think I've missed a single one of those at any of
That's
the
crazy. I've missed a few.
RTX. At every RTX. That's how I know how to steal your punchlines, man. Like, I gotta go to your panel so I can do research. Come in
Hooters
here and
Air.
snipe your
Damn
jokes. But like a billionaire. I was just down in the Virgin Islands, and your billionaire, the non-savage billionaire, Richard Branson. He's a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we actually got off course because we were sailing to this place. It was called the Bitter End, which is this bay. It's on the north side of this island. But just north of that island is an island called Mosquito Island and another one called Necker Island.
Well, I'm not choosing Mosquito Island.
Right, exactly. Why would you go to Mosquito Island?
Right.
And
Space Diabetes Island doesn't have too many visitors.
Fuck this guy up island.
Richard Branson owns Necker Island. He owns the island. So we're going, and somebody on the boat was saying, that's Richard Branson's house right there. And people on the boat had the binoculars looking at this, like, it looks like an evil lair, you know,
yeah,
like for some evil genius, evil supervillain. And I got confused. We got off course because I kept trying to like steer on this side of the island because it's Richard Branson's island. And then we finally realized, oh no, that's a different island. This is Mosquito Island. He also, by the way, owns this one, and this is where he has his house as well. So he owns 2 fucking islands out there. It's like, okay, that's great, good for you, but
Did he get
you're not putting us on Mars with your 2 islands.
Good for water balloon fights though to have 2 islands.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
But like he's got like trebuchets, so like the biggest.
It is the way you describe it though. It is interesting how just tons and tons of money always kind of seems evil. Like he's just got a nice house, but it looks like an evil layer just from the way movies have trained us.
Also, people give shit like whenever super rich people spend money, and I'm kind of doing that with this Necker Island, Mosquito Island thing. But at the same time, it's like that's way better than just them hoarding a bunch of money and sitting on it. You know what I mean? And this area in particular was 2 years ago. It was like completely wiped out by Hurricane Irma, I believe, came through there. So like that whole side, like if it came from that direction from the east, everything in that direction is just completely being rebuilt.
Do you think anyone lives under the ocean that we don't know about?
James Cameron.
Think he lives there?
He went deepest, right? He went to the bottom of the ocean before anybody else. That's another weird thing. Of all people, James Cameron was the first person to go to the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
Was that because of Titanic?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he got started on it, you know, and then got a little passion project going. That's weird, though, right?
weird.
It's like something you don't think about when you think about James Cameron. Have we played the
As you want to do.
That's right. Just on weekends, I start thinking about James Cameron.
Well, he's come up recently because of Alita. And I made the comment on the podcast a few weeks ago, before Gus's vacation, a month and a half ago. We talked about Alita coming out, and everyone's like, oh, it's going to fucking bomb. It's going to lose $250 million. And I was like, how do you bet against James Cameron in this day and age? Like every movie, Titanic was going to be a bomb. Avatar was going to be a bomb, you know, and now Alita has made like God knows how much overseas. Once again, proving that the U.S. market is really not that important anymore to these big blockbuster movies.
Did you guys get the thing?
But Andrew Rosas made a really crazy comment to the people that were working over in the Rooster Teeth content office. We were talking about James Cameron and Avatar. He goes, hold on a second. He goes, Avatar is the #1 movie of all time, right? And we said, yes, that's right. He goes, everyone in this room has seen Avatar. It's the biggest movie ever. And we're like, right. And he goes, name one character from the movie. And none of us could name a single character. Jake Sully.
The only reason I remember is because of Elise in that Funhouse video. She dressed up like Avatar.
But it was literally 10 people. No one could come up with a single character name from Avatar. That's fascinating to me.
The people were called the Na'vi, right?
Right.
I also remember Unobtainium, but that's about it.
Oh, God, that was,
Like, what was the name of Giovanni Ribisi's character in that?
Bad
What was
guy.
the name of the sergeant? Like the jar-headed guy.
The guy
What
who
was
had
Sigourney Weaver's character's name?
Doctor.
That's right, Doc.
Something.
Doctor You.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is that? It doesn't apply to Titanic and stuff.
No.
I remember those characters.
Or
names.
Star Wars, or Aliens, or other James Cameron movies, Terminator.
Yeah.
You know, I can name characters. Sarah Connor. I can name characters from movies. Couldn't name a single fucking character. I couldn't even name Jake Sully.
You couldn't name Jake Sully?
No, in fact, until Chad kind of ruined it by saying it, but I was curious if you were going to be able to say Jake Sully.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just here to ruin things.
And that's okay.
Jake Sully.
Just like you did ruin that punchline earlier. Hooters Air.
But I'd be curious. I was curious if you could come up with it. Did you remember Jake
doing?
Sully until he said it?
I was going to say Sully.
I would have said Sully.
I didn't remember this.
I think
I remember the
Sully's
Jake
the way-
Sully thing now.
I think Sully is the way they pronounced it.
The way the Navi pronounced
Jake
it.
Sully. Yeah.
But they called him,
True. Sorry.
the Marine drill sergeant guy called him Sully, right?
Probably
I think so. He was in the mech at the end.
Yeah.
He pulls out the big knife.
He's got a bunch
Yeah.
of great lines, though.
Name
He
one.
does?
Name one.
Not while I'm still breathing at the end when you right.
Yeah, and then he says the low gravity makes you soft. When
Yeah,
he's like
yeah.
pumping iron.
Okay.
He's like benching like
Yeah.
400 pounds or whatever. What a
What's
great
what's his
character
whole-
introduction.
What's his speech when he's like this planet's filled with things that'll like squat in the mud and eat your eyeballs for jujubes.
Bees,
or something like that, right?
I'm head of security. It's my job to save you, but I will not succeed. Not with all
Not
of
with
you.
all of you. Yeah.
See, you can name the lines, but you can't name the
Yeah.
fucking character. It's fucking weird, right?
I wonder if that movie still looks decent.
Well, let me ask you a question. Matt Hullum has a very long career in visual effects. Let me ask you this. There's one visual effect they still can't get right in movies, and I don't know why they can't get it right. One thing they have mastered is the ability to make someone look younger. Like in the Marvel movies, like Captain Marvel, that was fucking crazy how they made everyone look younger.
Right.
Yeah. Although, did you see the side-by-side comparisons of Samuel L. Jackson from Captain Marvel and him in Die Hard 3, where he's the literal age of...
Yeah?
Oh, really?
It's really interesting because he's like, he's overall like narrower.
He's really
You know?
skinny in
Which one?
Goodfellas, too.
In real life.
In
Die
real
Hard
life,
3.
he's narrower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they had to make a baseline from the guy you know today.
that you know today.
The weird one to me was actually from Civil War when they had the teenage Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember
with
him
his
from
parents?
less than zero. Yeah, when his parents he had that flashback with his
Yeah.
parents. It was like, fucking A, that's crazy. Oh yeah. So which is which? That's
Die Hard
on the
on
right
the
is
left.
Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah. 100% left is Die Hard.
Yeah. But why can't they get this right, Matt? And we can end on this. Why in movies can they not get right? It was in Avatar, and it was also just recently in a very high fidelity movie, Infinity War.
Oh, shit,
they
what is it?
can't get it right when they've got a guy in a mech and his head is coming out of the mech.
Yeah.
What is that? What is
It
wrong?
always looks the wrong size.
It does.
To me, it's the movement is wrong.
I
And
think
the
it's because there's
lighting.
no way you actually see the guy's head.
Yeah.
Like from the angles they choose, like you would be below the threshold of, you'd just see like his hairline or something.
I also feel like
So they're putting him in an awkward position to begin with. And then the lighting's wrong because he'd be almost completely in shadow.
yeah, it never casts the right shadow on his body. I think is
Yeah.
a huge
right.
problem.
So I think it's all cheats. But yeah, there's like a ton of shots in Infinity War, like especially towards the end with Mark Ruffalo, where you're like, even in the way background, it just looks like the head's just bobbing.
Yeah.
Back there. Yeah. And those are, it's like it's just a bunch of cheats.
And I think he
you know?
takes it off
Your eye
as
knows when it's fake.
as a joke. He takes it off. You know, like because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
when Thor shows up and he
Ha!
pulls the helmet
That
off.
part. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm watching all
He's
the
great in that movie.
MCU. Tonight's Ant-Man and the Wasp. We're
That's the only one I haven't seen.
I haven't seen that one yet either.
we're going in chronological order narratively.
release? Oh, narratively, got it.
Captain America was first. Captain Marvel
so
is
if
next.
anyone's doing that, they have to go and see Captain Marvel while it's still out. Otherwise, they won't be able to do that.
Well, we saw Captain Marvel, then... no, I guess we did see Captain America and then go see Captain Marvel. Little burp escaped me there. Then we saw Captain Marvel, which is in the 90s. And then it just goes forward from there. Because most of Captain Marvel is in the 90s.
I haven't been watching them in order, but I've watched a bunch of them recently. Still really hard to beat the Iron Man.
The first Iron Man.
First Iron Man is one of my
Just
favorite of
such
all
a good
time.
movie.
I think a lot of that as well. He's in a real iron suit or a real metal suit and not having his face.
And then Iron Man
in.
2 was a letdown, and then you thought it couldn't get worse, but then Jesus, Iron Man 3, what a piece of shit. God, I hate that movie.
Really?
It is
I got one problem with it. That's
such a poorly written. Oh God, there's so many plot holes in that movie. Hey, if you were to kidnap the president, would you put him in his own like fully weaponized and armored escape vehicle?
Oh.
Because they did. And in case you're wondering, yes, it was still weaponized because remember, they went up and just pulled his wrist up to blast the rope and set him free. Like, there's so much dumb bullshit in
I don't
that
remember.
movie where like Tony's like, oh, hey, you can't use these suits because they're only programmed to me. All I had to do was say the words, they're not programmed to you. But they didn't do that. He said they're only programmed to me, which is why it doesn't make sense when Pepper Potts grabs a fucking arm of it later and punches the dude. There's so much. God, I hate that movie. I'm a big Iron Man fan, and Iron Man 3 is a piece of trash.
I just watched a compilation of all of the times he got into the suit or in or out of the suit, and the evolution of the different ways he puts on the suit is really funny. But they're all cool. Kind of like you can't look away.
Except for, I think,
The nano stuff is
the nano
weak.
stuff everyone felt was like, you know, it is a natural evolution, I think, for in sci-fi. They got to do something bigger every single time. To me, the ultimate was when he's in Monaco and puts on the suitcase suit. I just fucking love that because as a kid growing up reading Iron Man, the suit came flipping open this briefcase and he's got the Iron Man suit in there. It's like, oh, I can't wait to see that. But the way they did it in the movie was drastically different, but still really, really cool.
Yeah. But, you know, it's okay. If the Mandarin blows up your house, I mean, you're clearly left defenseless because, you know, in this continuity, he doesn't have all the hundreds of suits built down into the tower. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to go with that. Oh, wait, never mind. He did. And at the end, he just calls house party for some reason. And now they all come. Oh, let's give Tony Stark PTSD because he needs a weakness. Actually, he's the first character that actually had like a true, like, let's bring alcoholism into the light as a serious problem.
He did.
That's what Tony does when shit happens. And they don't go that route because they did that a little bit in 2 and they didn't want to be redundant. So they gave him PTSD. I'm sorry.
I was actually really surprised that they didn't tackle the alcoholism thing in the movies any more than they did because it was such a big part of the comics.
Imagine if they had done that with 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, that he crawls into a hole and he's drinking himself to death, and like that's what his character does, and that's what. Anyway.
I think they were in full MCU mode at that point. And they had to address the Avengers alien stuff, and so that's how they were going to do it. Although he could have been drinking to try to get over that.
Yeah.
I will say this though: Captain America, Iron Man. I love Iron Man more, but after watching all the MCU movies again, I have to acknowledge I really like the first Iron Man. The second one's okay. The third one was okay. I liked it a little bit more watching it this time, but I remember I hated it in theaters. My problem was there's no Iron Man in that movie. Like for 75% of the movie, and then the last 5 minutes, there's way too much Iron Man. It's just like, it's way too much. But Captain America, first one's okay. Winter Soldier and Civil War are fucking great. They are
so good.
They are really great
They're
movies.
hardly even
I
Captain
know.
America movies.
I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're good movies. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have no complaint about them, but it's not like the Iron Man movies were mostly about Iron Man with all their mistakes. But the Captain America movies, the first one was a Captain America movie for sure.
Yep.
And then the next 2 were kind of just bridge movies for the rest of the
movies,
MCU.
Yeah.
Great, really great, but like maybe not a Captain America movie.
I just don't think the Captain America origin is as exciting as the Iron Man one.
I agree.
Like they just had to kind of get that one out of the way, but it's
Yeah.
not an overly exciting story.
But I love what they did with the character. But I know exactly what you're saying too, because in Civil War, I couldn't help but notice this time when I was watching it, how they basically just keep Iron Man out of the movie as long as they possibly can until he's needed. Like the whole thing with the embassy at the beginning where T'Chaka gets killed,
Right.
you know, and that whole thing, he's out of the movie that entire time. Like he's not on that mission. It's
But that
Black
fight
Widow
scene-
and Falcon. Falcon, by the way, is way cooler in the movies than he is in the comics.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, and Scarlet Witch is in there as well. But yeah, Iron Man is not there on that very important mission for some reason.
Speaking of keeping people out of movies, like I love the way that they try and dance around characters with like vast power discrepancies, like Thor. And I thought they did a really good job.
Or Vision, yeah.
So like Thor and Vision and Scarlet Witch, those 3 characters are super problematic because they're like insanely powerful. And so a lot of like the struggles that are happening, these characters would just wipe the floor with it. So that's why like Thor had to go on his whole thing to like rebuild the new hammer.
Yeah.
And then Vision, they were just like, I don't know, have a goblin just stab him in the back when he's thinking about love. And then with Scarlet Witch, they're just like, oh, she just like fuck everybody up when she's here. Well, she really cares about Vision, so you stay there and guard. And I love that line too when she finally comes back and like, and why was she staying behind?
Right.
Because it would fuck up the movie.
The whole time.
I think one of the like biggest story problems or like character problems. But they're 2 great movies, but Thor Ragnarok to Infinity War, like Thor's entire like reason for being in Ragnarok is to figure out that he's powerful, like the power of the lightning comes from within himself and not from the hammer or some device he needs. And then the solution for him for his character arc in Infinity War is completely the opposite. He has to have some kind of weapon in order to, you know, have like the internal theme is like he has to have it to have self
Just goes back
self-worth,
on everything you learned in
and
Ragnarok.
then he needs to have his powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
But
also
it's
did it with
like
the Hulk.
both those movies though are fantastic movies. Like if
And
you
the
hadn't
bit-
seen one or the other.
The bit where he comes down with his axe. Or
Oh,
whatever.
it's so good.
unbelievable.
It's like one of the most exciting moments I think in all of movie history.
Yeah.
And all it is
and then
is
he's-
just a character coming back. Like it's not like anything's even happening. It's just like, look who showed up, and it's like
Oh, well, then he does. I mean, he just starts laying
he
waste
does.
to
But I mean, they've
people.
all been fighting like for tons of movies already.
That grand entrance was also supposed to be Captain America's coming back, whereas he kind of steps out of the shadows in Infinity War now when Captain America kind of returns to the team after Civil War. That big entrance was supposed to be reserved for Captain America. They just couldn't figure out how to do it. So they worked in with Thor.
It did well
I
with
think his
Thor.
entrance, Captain America's entrance, it's also great in that movie.
It is really good.
I think a lot
But
of
they
it
gave it
too-
away in the fucking trailer. Just like if you go back and watch
why I don't
Thor
watch trailers.
Ragnarok, dude, go watch the Thor Ragnarok trailer today. They gave away everything about that movie in
Really?
Thor Ragnarok. Even like the biggest moments in the movie, like when Thor discovers that the power is in him and he's the god of thunder. That moment is in the trailer. And it's just like, I guess maybe they didn't have enough faith that this goofy movie was going to turn out to be so good. It's my favorite, personally, of the whole MCU is Thor Ragnarok.
It's a great movie.
But yeah, that trailer is like gives tons of stuff away. Anyway, we should wrap up.
all right.
We can save some more Marvel talk for the post show. Hey, everybody! Thank you for joining us on this week's podcast. If you are watching this live, thanks for joining us during this free 24-hour period of First Access. If you have enjoyed it, why not be a First member all the time? And then you can enjoy this every single week of your life until Gus gets back 6 months from now. Then you can see it. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Bye.
at least 16 more years.
Chad, you have to do it.
Oh, cool.
It's
Hey,
all
if you
yours.
guys enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and check out some of these other videos down below here. It's our birthday, which means you have to.
There's a bell.
Oh, yeah, do the bell.
There we go.